Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 85. I'm Graham. We got Luke, Cody, Richie, the whole crew. And we've got at this point he's a regular. We got Chris Iosua, however you want to
Oh
pronounce it,
my
back
God, he's a
on.
regular, but you still can't figure out his fucking last name.
Every time.
Jesus.
We got Chris back on.
Yep.
He's been his Toyota buggy's really no more. I don't even know. It's just a buggy now. I know you did a ton of work on that, which I don't know. When did you finish that? It's been a while. You've wheeled that. It's been at least a few months,
Um,
right?
yeah, our first trip was we did a shakedown at Field in the Forest, and then we went to Harlan, Tucker Creek, and then a couple more trips at Field in the Forest and the Jungle Bash. Oh, we did Rausch. I forgot there was a Rausch trip in there as well. Um, yeah, I've got like five or six runs on the new buggy.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So I
So
mean, I know there's a. I guess we'll just jump right in on that. I was gonna like bullet point like I generally do, but we don't really need to, so fuck it. Um, what I mean, I know why you wanted to redo it. I know there was some questionable tube work on it initially from the previous owner, but I guess what finally got you to like bite the bullet and strip it to
well,
2x6?
we just kind of gave up on the like we found a couple bad welds and I knew there was a lot of like hoop pipe in there.
Yep.
You know, a lot of Hebrew and it was all mixed match and some DOM, but nothing really good on the DOM aspect of it. So like, you know what? We're gonna make a truggy out of it. And I put truggy in gigantic quotation marks. And then I gave Craven a sawzall, and then I didn't have a cab anymore. So we tried to keep the cab as much as possible and do like a hybrid interior exterior cage. I know Cody's a huge fan of those. And that fucking went out the window and like it was. I don't even think it lasted a day. The first tube we bent was not right with the cab, but it looked awesome with the cab off of it. So we just said, fuck it, and cut the cab off. And then I already had the boat sides in place, and then we lobbed the back of the frame off. And then all of a sudden, there was no more buggy. We pretty much started from scratch, kept about 4 foot of the frame, and built tube from there. So full both sides this time, lowered it 7 inches, narrowed it 8 inches. Narrowed the front clip, narrowed the back clip, bobbed and dovetailed the back more so than it was, dove the front more so than it was, lowered the whole overall chassis a couple inches, changed the front shocks, it had 16s and 18s, took the 16s out of the front, put those in the back, and put 14s in the front to lower it down. So now I have 7 inches up in the front and 9 in the rear. I used to have 4 and 2. So now I can do go fast things. And
We're
we
trying
did.
to at least do go fast things.
I can try. It's correct. And then I still have air shocks, so I'm still got poor shocks on there. And then we redid all the suspension as well because the numbers were horrible. So we redid everything. More triangulation, more separation. It escalated. It's a gigantic snowball. Same motor, same transmission, same doubler. Put cable shifters in it, and same axles. Other than the fact that I shaved the rear axle, and I still have the shave kit at the shop for the front axle, but I ran out of time. So that'll be done before Humble Pie this year.
Yeah.
And I also didn't do the belly. I ran out of time. I didn't get to finish the belly. So the belly is still that ugly hanging 4 inches down belly. I didn't have time to finish that.
Yeah, happens. How do you have the dashboard area? Did you change that at all, or is that all
No, yeah,
original yeah.
yes, no. There's the only thing left is 4.5 feet of Toyota frame.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow.
That's
So
it. There's no
gone.
firewall. There's no firewall. There's no. It's all tube now.
Gotcha.
The whole thing's tube. Yeah, literally it is. The only thing non-tube is the 2x4 both sides, which I planned on running 2x4 because I had a cab on it. Now, in hindsight, I should have just done 2-inch quarter wall. I would have matched all the tube a little better. But whatever. It is what it is. I already have everything cut and put in place.
So my question is, does it still make my ex look skinny?
She, no, she's still an all right size girl, but she's not thick. She's not thick like she used to be. So she's definitely slimmed down. She's lost a few pounds. I actually shaved 600 pounds off of it.
Wow.
Oh,
So I shaved a substantial amount of weight. So it's definitely a lot lighter than it was,
damn.
and a lot safer. You guys probably saw the pictures on Facebook of the awesome welds that someone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
put
It
put
reminds
on
me
that
of
porch that
either those Sean's old buggy that we were ripping apart. I swear the person didn't know how to cope a tube. They just took um the flame
Coleslaw?
torch and
Oh.
just cut
Listen,
these horrible
that's better.
fucking.
That's better than mine. Mine was just butted up against a flat tube, and then a lot of weld.
Well,
So he literally stuck the tube on the tube without notching it, and then just weld to make
Oh,
a
boy.
notch.
What
That's
the
bad.
fuck? Ow.
If you can't, Mikey says, if you can't weld good, weld more.
oh
So
yeah,
that was the person's theory with the tube on that.
yep.
Holy
That seems to be a
shit.
theme because so the axles
Yeah.
we pulled out of that blue buggy for Sean, same deal. All the welds porous as hell and stacked on stacks of them. But every single weld was an inch thick. Like, so cutting them off and grinding them down, it's like you're sitting there for 20 minutes on one bracket trying to get the weld down with like it's just ridiculous. Way too much.
I'll get you a picture you can laugh at on the lower link brackets. So the lower link brackets were welded to the frame. Well, that's how you normally weld them. Well, I don't know if they ripped off over time. So the frame starts, then there was a piece of 3/16 plate. Okay, not a bad deal. Then quarter, then a piece of half, then a piece of 3/8, then a piece of 3/16, then some round stock. I don't know where the round stock came from. To fill the hole in some of the gap. And it was just welded on top of those plates to make them all work. So there was like
What?
7 plates on the bottom of the frame. I don't know how the links never tore off because I wasn't easy on it. And it's the 43-inch stickies. I literally, we cut off so many brackets. I filled 2 5-gallon buckets of like just shit.
Just junk,
Like,
yeah.
wow, brackets and like all this stuff. It used to have a 3-link, so there was still like 3-link brackets on the frame, and the frame had extra stuff welded on it. Like I filled 2 5-gallon buckets of random tabs and plate that they had welded onto the poor frame. It was amazing to see. So many people have touched that, and I think there was so many. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that there was so many trail fixes. That's what I'm going to say they were.
Yeah.
I'm hoping someone didn't fabricate those. And everything was 3/8 or half-inch plate. I was amazed to see how many, like someone just cut with a torch a piece of half-inch plate and like made link bolts. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Everything was just super overkill on the.
Now, did you say that
I'm a
right?
thickness.
Link bolts?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Link brackets. I was
I'm
gonna.
sorry.
I mean, I could
I said
see.
bolts, I'm
I
sorry.
could see somebody
Yeah.
taking a
No,
piece
no,
of half-inch
no,
and turning it into a
It was
half-inch bolt.
It was link brackets. It was like
Okay.
a piece of this half-inch square stock that was like 6x6 that they made for an upper link mount, and was just this big, huge chunk of steel. When they hit the ground, they take a chunk of concrete out. Like they would just my plasma wouldn't cut. There was so many plates welded, I couldn't cut with my plasma on the
Jesus.
frame. I had to use a sawzall to get through all of it. It was amazing to see how much steel we pulled off that thing. And I would have died if I rolled over, so I'm kind of glad that we did it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, boy, you were running reds with something
Yeah.
that's less structural than a Zuzu tracker body.
No, listen, your Cherokee was more structurally sound than my Toyota buggy when I got it. Honestly,
That's terrifying.
yeah, it's honestly. Yeah. Yeah, it would've
Holy
been-
shit.
we and Mikey were talking about that, and I really, really wanted to do the big balls drop last year, but I was being a girl. I didn't do it. If I would have done the big balls drop and failed, they would have had to cut me out of the rig. There was no, I would have not been, that would have been bad.
I was gonna say,
So,
that's if you were able to shove your head between your legs and try to get it past the steering wheel.
yeah, no,
Because
it was,
there was no Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, I honestly don't think about that. We tried bad pepper and meat. I bounced tube off these and
We're losing you. You're getting a little choppy there. You sound like a
oh,
robot.
sorry.
Hey.
Oh, sorry. I'm in the same
Oh,
spot.
much better now. I don't know what changed, but
I moved the phone moved the phone like 2 inches, and we'll see if we have better service.
sweet.
Yeah, no, I try not to think about that whole if I would have rolled because that would have been bad. So we'll just kind of we made good choices for a better, stronger future on
Yep.
the buggy.
No,
I'm
I
proud
think
of
that was
you.
the right call.
I'm proud of you. That's a
Yep.
really good call.
Yep. And I was like I told we were talking about earlier on the podcast. I bought a bunch of old DOM from guys. Like everyone had like a couple sticks laying around, and I just bought a whole bunch because I was being cheap. So I ended up getting it for like $4 a foot and stuff like that.
Nice, especially in like the current tube
Yeah,
market.
yeah. I think Cody was saying it was like $15 a foot or something like
Yeah,
that.
last
Yes.
I went, and I gotta go again for Sean's whole new buggy because we were gonna have to replace some shit on
Oh,
that.
that sucks.
So it's not gonna be a fun expense for Sean, unfortunately. I'm sure that's gonna be
Yeah,
but
it won't hurt. It
Again-
won't hurt your pocket. I'm sure. His
No,
pocket,
no.
And it's but
whatever.
again, you have to think about it. How much do you value your life? If you
No,
value
yeah, no. I'm with you. I'm with you.
yeah.
We're doing harder and harder trails, so I mean, it's kind of a you have to do it. Like I if I would have known the buggy was as bad as it was, or the Toyota was as bad as it was when I was wheeling it, I would have wheeled half as hard as I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's all, and I was deceived on. I looked like it was decent. Like some of the welds are shitty, but when I took those tubes off, half the welds weren't even for maybe 5/8 welded around, so there was no strength to any of those.
Shit.
Yeah, it would have been shitty. So whatever, it's in the past now, and now we kind of sort of have a Toyota buggy. Thanks to Craven and Mikey and my buddy Matt came over and did a bunch of the wiring because I am not a wiring person. I don't have the patience.
Feel that.
I don't have the patience to do it.
And-
Yeah, and Matt came over. He's an electrician by trade. He came over, and the wiring it's just absolutely beautiful. So it's just nice to be able to like know everything and have fuses on everything like it's supposed to do, and not have all these random wires that are just kind of hanging out. And I pulled the dash apart, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's just wires everywhere."
Yeah.
Like, what does this go to? What does
Just
this
all
go
red.
to? I'm like, it's all like what I had. Like, no lie, on the back of my dash, I had about 17 red wires.
Yeah.
I'm like, the ground is red. I'm like, I don't even understand. Like, he just had red wire. That's all
That's
he had.
all he had.
Like,
It was a big spool.
fuck it. Yeah, just fuck it. I'm just gonna use this 300-foot spool of 16 gauge red wire I got, and we're just gonna run that on everything.
Yep.
And then there was positive wires that were just cut, and they must have went to something back when the cab was completely intact, and just positive random wires sticking out of nowhere, and it was just a lot of rigging. But I mean, it's been owned by 56 people, so you can't really.
Yeah. One
Everyone
red wire
touched it,
from each owner, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 1 or 2 red wires from each owner is about 100 wires. So now it's better.
Quick question for you, because I had this confusion last time. I thought you bought the rig from the owner of Field of Force. You bought the rig from an owner of a property, right?
No, I bought the rig from Paul Jones. So Paul Jones is from Western Mass, I believe. I can't remember where he was from.
Yeah, and
I bought it from.
that-
What was
Oh,
that?
sorry. Before that, didn't Dave Schaller have it for a little
Yes.
while?
So I traded my TJ, the Barbie, the TJ I built. I traded that for the buggy when I had the boggers on it, and was 3-link in the front, and had that kind of cage and all that stuff on. I had the tons and had air shocks and all that good snazz, but I traded my Jeep, and then he wanted a streetable rig, so he bought that for his girlfriend or fiance or whatever it was. And then I started off with that and just started building that 2 years ago. That snowballed.
Was it 2 years
And
ago? I thought it was longer than that at this point. Because I
well,
remember.
maybe it was like I have 2 seasons on it. How's that? So I had one. I bought it in like May or June, and I wheeled that season on the boggers. So that was like a half a season, and then I wheeled one full season on the stickies. And this is so yeah, it's gonna be like 2.5 years because it's now June again, so it'll be like 2.5 years of wheeling because this is my second season on the stickies.
Oh, you've only
Yeah,
had
that
the
makes.
stickies for 2 years, or
Yeah,
2 seasons. One
yeah,
and
two
the
seasons.
starting one. Yeah.
So yeah, I got them last January.
Wow.
I had the boggers, the 44-inch boggers before that.
Gotcha. I didn't know
That's what it came with. Yep, it came with that. So I have literally like 1.5 seasons on the boggers. I'm sorry, on the SX stickies.
Yeah. And then, so you did a shitload of work, and it went together very quickly, from what I understand.
Yeah.
What was the timeline? When did you start, and when did you finish that? You think, like,
So we had it was 3 months.
okay,
Me and Craig, we
You're going.
Up.
You're,
lift your
yeah,
phone
yeah.
up. There we go. Maybe.
In the 3 month period, and we did a back Mikey's YJ.
No, now
There we
it's
go.
back. Right there. Keep it there. If you go towards the window, it gets worse.
Doesn't make sense. It was fine, and then
Maybe get a tad bit closer to the house. Are you on the Wi-Fi?
how's that?
That's working right
Yeah,
there.
you sound great.
Okay. Anyways, it was 3 months, and we did a back half on Mikey's YJ.
Wow. Okay.
So we did ORIs in the back. So we did a back half on his Jeep. So now he's linked front and rear.
Sweet.
Yeah, I
Yes.
remember seeing that. I remember seeing him do that. And then was it just you, Craven, and Mikey?
Me, Craven, Mikey, Matt did all the wiring.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any of the wiring. And my buddy Ben came up, and Sean helped a little bit on bending some tubes for me, like on some handles and stuff, like some 1.25 inch, because we only have an 1 3/4 inch die on the bender.
Yeah.
So he bent some 1.5 inch for us and some 1.25 inch for like the handles on to get in, to make it easier to get in. But yeah, everything else pretty much. Craven got the start of the chassis done, like pretty much the bones of it, if you want to say, and then me and
Did you
Mikey,
say that was his redemption for what he did to the Jucket?
No.
Was he
It's
like-
the same. It was the same thing. He did the same thing. He cut nothing. There was nothing left. It's what he did to Jucket. He cut the whole thing
Yeah.
apart. It just never went back together. Chris
Yeah,
actually went back
so-
together.
I actually say mine went back together. So that was the difference. Is mine actually got built. So he started cutting. So it was Mikey left us alone. Mikey was working 7 days a week. I think he was working 12 or 14-hour days. So he was working this crazy schedule. So he told me the night before, "Don't cut the fucking cab." And I was like, "Okay." So me and Craven decided to cut the cab. And then I told Craven, I said, "I'm not cutting the fucking cab because Mikey's going to be mad." So Craven's like, "I'll do it." And I was like, "All right, well, power to you." So I said, when Dad gets home, he's going to be pissed. So Mikey came in. It was like 7 o'clock at night. He just worked a 14-hour day. He walked in the shop, and he had glasses on. And it was dark outside, so you could tell he was so tired he still had glasses on. And he came in the shop, and he said, "What the fuck?" And I pointed to Craven. I said, "He did it." So he made me do it, and he cut the cab off. So he walked over, grabbed a beer out of the fridge, and then had to just take it in. So he didn't say anything. So we just kind of stood there, and he's like, "Well, it had to be done." And I'm like, "Yes, that's what I was saying." So we were trying to explain to you. It just had to be done. Mikey knew that it was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So Mikey was the smart one. He was the Switzerland. He was the neutral party saying, "You're fucked." So we literally and then Craven spent about 5 more days, 17-hour days in the shop. I took time off work, and we just went to the shop, me and Craven. We were living in there. Then I went back to work, and Craven spent about a week building the outside of the cage. So we pretty much cut the body off and made it look like a tube buggy, not no suspension, but made it look like something in a week. So it was pretty insane on how much work we got done in 6 days.
Yeah.
And then he went back to Florida because he's old, and me and Mikey pretty much took over the rest, and got that done in the next 2.5 months.
Wow.
Crazy.
So
More power to you.
it's big hats off to Mikey putting in the hours and helping me get that shit done, because without Mikey there and kicking me in the ass when I was getting pissed off and just telling me to move on to something else, I would have probably gave up. So Mikey's the reason the buggy's done for sure. So without him and his tube expertise, it would have not been because I've never really bent tube. Like, I've seen people do it, and I've solid axled rigs, and I've put like roll cages in rigs that was pre-built, but I've never bent my own tube chassis. This was like 2 rolls of blue tape, and like, should we put a tube here or how about here? You know what I mean? We got some 1-inch blue tape, 3M blue tape. We're like, how about here? And I doesn't. How about here? That doesn't look right. And then you're like, we bend the tube, we're like, fuck it, we don't like it. Throw it in the tube trash.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, it's in the tube pile. So it was a lot of tape figuring out. And I don't think it's pretty by any means, but it's a hell of a lot better looking than it was before.
Now, is there anything that you did that you're not too happy with that you want to switch up in the future, or like, are you pretty happy with everything?
I'm very pissed off about the belly, but we're in out of time. Like, to do something, to build 2 rigs, and his took about a month and a half. He started about a month and a half long before I did. So we had about 5 months, and we were bouncing between his mind,
Wow.
helping each other out. And then he would work on his, and then I would work on mine, then I would work on his, and he would work on mine. And we were bouncing back and forth, like helping. We were in the shop. I got to take my wife as well because she put up with all the bullshit. I was in the shop 6 days a week minimum. And it was,
Jeez.
I was working, getting out at 3-4 o'clock, and going in the shop till 10-11 o'clock.
Cody, take notes.
And then I just repeat. And every morning, Saturday, 5:30, we'd get up, we'd get breakfast, and I'd work in the shop till 10. And then same thing on Sunday. I would get up 5:30, I'd work, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't even know what fucking day it is. So we were just like, we're sick of seeing the shop. I don't want to look at it. And I probably, it's my fault. I probably burnt Mikey out. So because we were just nonstop in the shop getting stuff done. Craven said he was coming back, and the prick never came back up. So
I get that though.
Yeah, it was just us. And again, it was big thanks to Mikey for helping and just putting up with my bullshit and getting the fucking thing done. So
when we did the initial take on my cage, we lived at the shop for like 3 weeks every day.
But we were also doing Richie's rig at the time, and then we rolled into mine a month or 2 months after, right?
And then before that, Cody, when we hadn't even started on your rig at all, we were just doing lockers in your axle. We did Kish and myself did a month and a half of every day not leaving the shop till 10 to get the 1-tons under it and have it wheeling a month and a half after it pulled in the shop. So
it's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah, but you just get into that groove, and it's one of the best times to get shit done. It's just when you pretty much just accept the suck.
Yeah. And Mikey's big thing was nothing can look like an afterthought. And every time I'd like put a tube somewhere, my only thought in my head was nothing can look like an afterthought. So like when you put a tube in, it can't be an afterthought.
That's
that
a pretty
tube has
good
to flow.
Like
it has to flow with
way
the
of
other 2 tubes
thinking
it's
about
touching.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Like that.
Nothing can look like an afterthought. So my whole buggy, there's not one, it's literally like the tube was designed to be there.
Yep.
Like when we like looked at it, we'd cut 4, 5, 6 pieces of tube. And I'm like, fucking nope. It can't be an afterthought. Like it cannot look like we half-assed it and put a tube here, put a tube there. And he also said, don't put tube just to put tube. That was what you kept saying. Like, don't put a tube there. Yeah, just to put tube. He goes, don't stick a piece of tube there for no reason. Like there needs to be a reason why that tube is there. So again,
That's a
he was the
great point, to be honest.
That's it. He's like Switzerland. He's just neutral. Like he doesn't pick a side. He doesn't go anywhere. He's like Switzerland. He just stays aside, does his own thing.
The only counterpoint I have to that is it's either got to be nothing is an afterthought or everything is an afterthought. There is no in between.
It's true. We just got to make it look right. Like it can't look bad. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to put it together and have like an ugly chassis. Like when someone's like you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying it's pretty by any means, but
so is this where we get to start bullying you?
More power to
you. Mister, why would you ever do that to a Cherokee? You should just build a chassis. About building a chassis.
Yeah, I told you.
That does that to a Toyota buggy.
Yeah, I fucked up. Told you. I was, and literally, like, we talked about this, me, Mikey, and he's like, you should have just bought a fucking chassis. I'm like, Yep. I should have just bought a chassis. I would have never used my axles. I would have never used my doubler. If I would have bought a chassis, I would have just sold mine and then kept the 43s and just built the chassis.
Yeah, but chassis are like, I don't know. And I feel like I always take this position. It's like, I'd rather suffer through and build it because then it's like, it's mine, right? You can go and buy a chassis off the shelf and those are cool and they work, but like, I don't know, I wouldn't be as attached to it. Like my Cherokee's a piece of shit, but I built it. Like that was my Christmas vacation, like just wasted while my entire family's like, what the hell are you doing outside in like freezing weather working on that piece of shit? Like
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
It's your blood, sweat, and tears. And that's the thing is, me, Craven, and Mikey were like, yeah, we designed that tube. Like that tube was there because we wanted it to be there. Mm-hmm. The chassis, the width it is because we wanted it to be that big. Like we put the seats in it. And I'm like, no, a little narrower. No, a little wider. No, a little narrower. Like we made it to how we wanted it. And I never would have got a chassis the way mine set up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's done by you and I've gotten nothing but compliments and it's awesome because, we built it with our hands and we're not very bright. We're not crazy fabricators and we're not, it's just a couple guys in the garage, you know what I mean? And we made it work.
Yeah, well, that's what does it is it's consistency, right? This is gonna be Cody's gonna have to re-listen. Oh, he does anyways because he'll do the editing. But this will be one he should listen to every week when he's like, I don't want to work on my Jeep because it's not. You don't have to be smart, Cody.
No, you just got to keep going, and that's the thing is just keep on. Doesn't matter what you do, and if you get mad, move on to something else. So when you get pissed off with that tube or that notch, or just move on to another tube because there's plenty of fucking tubes to do. And the dental work, Mikey calls it, is the little stuff. That stuff will kill your soul.
Yep.
The dental work sucks. Like, where I mount the orbital. Where do I mount my pedals? Well, where do I mount the dash? How do I mount my shifters? I put in cutting brakes as well. Where do I put my cutting brakes?
Oh, what the fuck? You fancy, huh?
Yeah, so now we can do dig stuff. We can do like big boy things. It's still long because it's 15 inch really, so I need to have dig because I don't have rear steer yet. So
yeah.
That's yet is the key right there. It was 50-50 on trailing arms. I really wanted trailing arms in the back. And when we did it, we were like, you know what? Let's just have the ability to put rear steer in this thing later on and leave the trailing arms out of it. So I agreed to do the triangulator 4-link in the rear and leave the room for rear steer.
So on that note, when we finally bully you into it, there's a guy down here that's doing custom 14-bolt housings, and they start from like $1,600 up.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. What?
No. 1600s, you supply the knuckles, and you don't get gears with it or anything like that. You put gears in yourself, but still.
So I'm stubborn and Mikey's stubborn. I'm probably just we get those 05 axles for so cheap. We get them for a couple $100. I am probably gonna buy an 05 axle just to have it at the shop laying around, and I'll make my rear 14-bolt that's already shaved and geared a steerable axle.
Yeah,
so we'll do it ourselves. Yeah, we'll do it ourselves. Yeah,
I support it.
And then I'll have to go 40 spline because she's still a big girl, so I'd have to still go 40 spline rear.
So what do you weigh in at?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
What do you actually weigh in at? Because you said you.
I was 44.70.
Wow.
Yeah,
Before or
44.70.
after?
That's after with 2 full propane tanks and
With you?
tools. No, that was
Okay.
without my fat ass in it. That
Okay,
was without
I
my
just had
fat
to
ass.
ask, dude. I didn't know, you know.
No, so I weighed. Yeah, that was without 285 pounds of me in there. So yeah, it was. It's just shy of my goal when I really really wanted 4,000. I wanted 3999.6. You know what I mean? I wanted.
Yeah,
I
you
wanted for that. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that's rough.
So-
That's a tough.
I think Mikey's probably going to be mad at me and yelling at the podcast when he listens to this. I think he was 4,300. So he was a couple 100 pounds lighter than me.
Well,
Wow.
you know, Mikey is more than welcome if he wants to message one of us and come on here and yell at us.
Yeah, Mikey doesn't yell a lot. He's quiet.
We should have had him on this episode. This would have been the perfect episode for it.
Yeah, he was. I think he was around the shop. He would have came on.
Dang it.
I'll have to ask him. He might come on. He doesn't really like people.
He's
So I don't
talked
know
to
if
most
he'll,
of us before. It's not like we're just random
Yeah, no.
people either.
And that's what I tried to explain to, like, when Bob wanted to come on. He's like, hey, Luke reached out to me, or Graham, I don't remember who it was, and reached out to me. I'm like, it's like talking to your buddies, like you're just shooting the shit about off-road stuff. Like,
Yep.
it's not like you're doing anything like you're not used to. You're literally just talking to your buddies. It's not awkward. It's not,
No.
something like that. You're literally just talking to friends about stuff you like to do. That's it. It's not really rocket science.
Yeah, it's easy.
It is. But some people just get nervous. Like, Mike Craig won't come on.
Because he's scared.
He's a bitch. So, maybe we can get Megan on because Megan's better to talk to anyways. So, I mean, he's got that new buggy he's ripping apart because
He's already tried to sell it to me. What do you mean? He was
so
like,
I brought his tube. I brought his tube to the new shop in Lowell there, that brick building he's renting with Timmy.
Yep.
And Mikey said, get his account information and we will wire the money in his account. Mikey wanted to buy that because he loved that little buggy. And he knew he was going to fuck it all up. So he knew he was going to cut it all up, and now he's doing an automatic swap, and
No.
he's ruining that buggy.
yep.
Yeah, he's ruining it. Typical Mike Craig fashion. he's gonna fuck that thing up. So he's gonna screw it all up, and everyone's gonna be so mad at him for screwing that thing up. So that's what's gonna happen is everyone's gonna be pissy with him because he wants to cut it and put big seats in there and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, that thing worked so fucking well. Like, what are you doing? He's just all it needed was 39-inch reds and call it a day. That's all it needed.
Yep.
And he's
That's
doing
a
an
weird way
automatic
to
swap.
see.
And,
That's a weird way to say 43 SXs.
so
It's too small. Doesn't need
It's
that.
way too small. I don't even think it's 109. I think it's like 105. It's little. It would look cool on 43s, but it's definitely not. And it's got toy axles. So it still has
yeah.
Fine! It's got
still
a
has-
samurai motor.
No, it's got a tracker motor. I think it's 1.6 turbo. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 1.3 turbo, but I'm pretty sure it's 1.6 16 valve.
I can tell you in
turbo.
2 seconds. I'll pull up the text.
World will
His,
never know because he will never come on to talk about it.
Yeah, because he's a bitch. No, we know it's Mike. It's not like it's something new or something you haven't heard before. He's always a girl.
But
I think it's 1.6. I'm almost 100% sure.
yeah,
it's
it probably is. I just had
Yeah,
to make
16
fun of
bucks.
him.
Yeah. No,
I'm-
it works well.
And I miss him. He was an interesting guy.
He's special, that's for sure. I don't know about interesting. He's definitely special.
Listen,
So-
from one autist to another autist, he's almost
know-
okay.
You guys are both special. That's for sure. That's the best way to put both of you guys are fucking special. I just want him to wheel. Like, if he can just, I don't know, get the automatic thing done and get in the woods with us, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
He's the
when you
president
start
of a
overcomplicating
club.
it, right? We all do
Yeah.
it to ourselves, I feel, but like, just keep it simple. It was a working
Yeah.
buggy, right? And
Yeah. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. That's what I always say when it comes to stuff is just keep it simple, stupid, but Megan wanted to drive it, and I don't believe that Megan can drive standard.
Trial by
Which I
fire.
would.
Hang
Oh,
on,
exactly.
hang on.
Like
Can
in a
Mike
buggy.
even drive manual?
Listen, I don't have an answer to that question. So, I think I'm pretty sure his TJ is stick, but I've never driven it, so I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that his TJ is stick.
I'm gonna just push X to doubt.
No, I think I don't know why
No,
I thought that he had
Listen.
something that was manual. I don't remember.
Let me have my
I-
mental picture to make fun of
I
him with.
think it's stick. It's 100% stick. It's stick, and I think it's got a Rubicon case and Ruby 44s under it, I believe. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I do
That's a
have to
pretty nice
say though,
TJ.
Yeah.
entirely unrelated to shitting on Mike and going back to like the person that the podcast might actually be about. I'd be really curious to see what your rig would do down here.
Oh, my
especially-
rig loves it down there.
Yeah, like we've been kind of working on floating the idea, and I've been slowly accumulating guests to do like a special side episode of Civil War, if you will, of northern rig builders and southern rig builders talking about the differences and all of that. But it's like every
Yeah.
time that I talk to someone down here, they describe your buggy, and I feel like it would do insanely well at Windrock
Yeah, so
or AOP.
what our goal is, we used to do Rausch Creek for Memorial Day. Our new goals are every year to do a southern place. Like next year we want to do Windrock. So we're going to do Windrock Memorial Day weekend, do Windrock for 5 days, come up, do Rausch for 2 to 3 days. It breaks the trip up coming home. So we're
Yeah.
just going to do Windrock next year, and then the year after do AOP, and then the year after that keep working our way down Choco, like keep working our way to do parks, and then come back and do Rausch. So we're still good. I like Rausch. I know it's not hard, and some people don't like it. I've always liked Rausch.
My only suggestion is if you're going to be all the way down here, right? Consider adding AOP on the Windrock section. If you're talking about spending 5 days, do 2 days at AOP because AOP is like a 5,000 acre park, but it's much more condensed with much more hard shit stacked on top of each other. Whereas Windrock has some really hard, really cool trails. Now, this is obviously from my understanding. I haven't made it out to Windrock yet. I'll
Yeah, so he's
update
just shitting
you
on
when-
Windrock while having never gone, and he lives in Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my experience with AOP has been like in my opinion, it's everything that Rausch could be if
Makes
Rausch
sense.
was a lot harder.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, if Rausch
There
was on
are-
the side of a mountain, it would be pretty easy to be harder. Take
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
trail at Rausch and put it on a 20-degree incline, and suddenly,
So that's like Harlan. Harlan's not like crazy hard.
Mhm.
There's some like decent stuff there, but it's not like Field and Forest Reds. And that's the problem is we wheel Field and Forest. It's in our backyard. It's 35, 40 minutes away from my house. So
Yeah.
I compare things to that, and like it's hard to beat like obstacle, 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 obstacle.
Yep.
Rather than driving around, you guys went to Harlan. So rather than driving around for 6 hours, you're like,
yeah, that
okay,
was like
I've been on one trail for 6
Yeah.
hours.
it was a culture shock. It was like, whoa, wait, where are the trails? We were looking for a while. We were like
Yes.
trying to find on the map.
Yeah,
like,
that's what
which
I'm
ones
saying,
are
like-
which ones have rocks? Like, there's no.
And that's one thing that I do like about AOP is AOP is much more of a like you can get onto Trail 41, ride Trail 41 out, and then you're at the next crossroad, and Trail 41's got a decent bit of rocks, but it's nothing too crazy, and you can go to the Waterfall Trail, and the Waterfall Trail is nutty. It's a black entrance to red obstacles following it, followed
Yeah.
by the opposite of a no balls drop climb out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. No, that's cool.
So
I'm game to try any of these. We want to start working our way south, so I'm game to try. And my buggy is, like you said, my buggy is designed for these trails. Like my buggy with the V8 and the 43s and all that is literally it loves those trails down there. It loves the long hill climbs, muddy hill climbs, and it just loves that. Like that's where Mikey with his 4-to-1 and 538s and his 4-liter is running out of power. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, let's go. Like we were on upper rock garden at Harlan, and he couldn't even make it to the rocks. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I just don't got it. Because he's got so much low gear, not like you can't roll through like you can with a automatic and a V8.
Yep.
You can't roll into stuff.
We went to, what was it?
Were we at Lower Rock Garden?
Middle? No, we were at Middle. Yeah,
Middle
we were
Rock
at
Garden.
Middle.
Oh my God, that was a clutch dump fest, and we weren't going anywhere. I mean, we made it up, some of it, but it was like, I mean, we basically blew my front ring and pinion up on that trail.
The only person I think that did well on that was Curtis, as much as I hate to give Curtis
No, even he
credit.
was struggling, though, and that, like, did he make it up that last bit? I don't remember.
We pulled cable because
so he didn't, because he'd been hammering on it, not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We rock raced that. Like I passed someone on that trail up and down. We went both directions. Yeah, but it's just big tires, big tires, long wheelbase. Like that's my buggy.
It also depends on conditions, right? It was
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. One day we went, it was dry, and then when we went, it rained, and it completely changed the trails.
Everything. Yep.
Yeah. So
when I went up Trail 41 at AOP the first time, it was with Graham, a couple of the Trail Trash boys. Who else was in that line, Cody?
That's pretty much it. Trail Trash guys, us, Colin.
There were a couple of the JK guys. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Cody with the TJ, another gentleman with a black CJYJ styled buggy, wasn't it? Either way,
tire, 1 ton.
We just went up it. Like there was nothing to that trail. The next time we went, it torrential downpour the day before, and the LS guys were tapping rev limiter. The guys on Leaf Springs were having just bad times. I was slamming rev limiter, just trying to get anywhere on it, and that's a blue trail.
There's so much clay in the ground there that when water hits it, it doesn't absorb. It just sits on the top like 3 inches, and it's a mud bog. Like literally, Mikey tried this. He found like the Lower Rock Garden. It was like in the bushes. It didn't even look like a trail anymore. And we're like, why does anyone do this? There's like some cool rocks in there. So he pulled in, and it was about 6 inches of this clay quicksand crap, and he couldn't even get to the rocks. Like couldn't get his tires on the rocks on flat ground. It just it wouldn't. You couldn't get to it. It was nuts. Yeah, so it was.
Harlan's quite the property. It's definitely a unique one.
Yeah, I have fun. It's not a. We did it all in like 3 days. So we were done the whole property in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
We did every trail you could do. That was when we did a bunch of the greens and blues. Like we did every trail in 3 days. So there was like nothing left for us.
Do you like going in the Crackhead entrance, or do you like going in past the cabins?
So we've done the cabin entrance both times. So we had a cabin last year with Mark and Chris brought his RV, but it was me, Mark, Ben, TJ, Nick, Mark's son, and a couple of their buddies. And we stayed at a cabin. That was awesome. We got an Airbnb this year, one town over in Cumberland, I believe it was. So it sucked to have to load every day, but that was the only shitty part, was loading and strapping and every day going out, that kind of thing, yes.
Yeah,
I do really enjoy on the way home shooting through the Cumberland Gap and then going through the Cumberland Tunnel. It's really scenic going into Tennessee.
So we did 5 days there. We went to Tackett Creek for 1 day. And we went and did the Flex Rocks and Rollover Loop that he has mapped out on the BFG trail app. And that was a 17-mile loop or 20-mile loop that we did over there. Brought us to a waterfall, which was pretty cool. Nothing like crazy. You know, Cody could have done everything and had fun in his Cherokee. Like nothing was like over the top, like nuts, but it was a cool, awesome ride in the mountains. It was a breeze. We saw this awesome viewpoint that was, I forget what it was, 4,000 feet above sea level. Pretty cool to like look around and see the whole, the whole town. Like it was cool. But I want to do sand mines next year. So that's another thing they did on Flex Rocks and Rollovers that they mapped on that BFG app as well.
Yeah,
Where's
I've seen
that
a few
one at?
videos.
Where's
It's
Sand?
literally
So sand
right
mines
next
is
to
Tackett
Wind
Creek.
Rock.
Yep. So no, it's about 45 minutes north of Winter.
Oh, okay.
So Tackett Creek, we found out, is 200,000 acres. So it's state land that you can wheel on, but the hard stuff doesn't connect. And the mapping system sucks. It's worse than going to Badlands on the mapping system. So, like, you got, like, crayons and colored paper. So, like, it's horrible on the mapping system.
Do they
So
label
we
the
would
black
ask
trails
me to
as
draw
exits? Do they
No,
label-
there's nothing. So we had this BFG app that Mikey bought for whatever, $50. I don't even know what it cost to buy the app. So he bought this app and we saw this loop. And I was like, I'm not going back to Tackett unless we had a loop, a map, because we went last year and we drove around for fucking 8 hours and I didn't see shit. So we had the app. We knew what we were doing. We found where to park. And we'd pull up to a trail, a fork. There'd be 7 trails at this fork. And it would show you straight across. I'm like, but where does that one go? What about that one? What about that one? So we'd like walk down them a little bit and see if they went somewhere, but like they don't look like it goes anywhere. So the mapping system is horrible. And they don't have a map of Tackett Creek. So you almost need a local to bring you around and find all the good stuff. But I saw they had sand mines, which was 30 minutes. Show you how big the property is. It's 30 minutes south of where we went in for the loop that we did. So it's 30 minutes on the road to get you to sand mines. And you park outside a Super 8 hotel. And you drive down the road a little bit and then go in. And Luke would know, Tennessee's a little different on the four-wheeling thing. You got to buy like a hunter's pass. I forget what they call it. You got to go
Depends
online.
on what you're doing. You can buy what is it? It's the off-highway vehicle pass for hunting.
That's it. Yeah.
If you are going onto state lands.
And that's what Tackett Creek is.
Yeah.
Tackett Creek is state or BLM land.
But it's pretty cheap. It's like $50 if I remember right.
$50 a day. Yep, 50 or $55 a day.
Which
to do
compared
the-
to Rausch isn't the worst thing in the world.
And,
when you're talking
I
about-
don't know if you guys went, but Rausch Creek went up again. It was $65 a person. And then
Damn.
yeah, this year. Yep, we went on the way back from Harlan. It was $65, and then I want to say $25 for the membership, or maybe it was $50 for the membership. And then they bumped the passenger up to like $50. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it's like $110 a day to wheel, not including the membership. So that like it's kind of, and they don't have bathrooms or showers.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I love the park, but that is getting old. Like,
yeah,
No, it's old.
whereas it's like if you go to AOP, right? AOP is $20 a day, $5 for camping. Passenger is $20. You know, it's admittance to the park is $20. It doesn't matter whether you're riding or driving. But fuck,
No,
man,
awesome.
for $45 a day, including camping, if you are RV or site camping,
Yeah, that's
that's
awesome.
not bad. There's a shower there with running hot water that, like, I did not run out of hot water taking a shower.
we can take
nice.
an hour shower in there.
Yeah. If you want to, you can rent the cabin, and the cabin is $70 a night, which, like, it's nothing special, but dude, you get air conditioning and you get a bed. Like,
So we at Harlan was $30 for the month.
yeah.
The passengers are free.
Yep.
Because it's just state land. They have the bathrooms there and showers there, which are free. And the cabin, we rented the huge cabin last year. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in it. It ended up being like $130 a person for the fucking week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it was dirt cheap. We rented and it's the biggest cabin they have in Harlan. The first one on the right when you pull in the Putney entrance. That's the one we rented.
Oh,
And it was
that
literally
first of the three that's lined up or something.
a big bastard one, like right there next to where you buy your pass. So
Oh,
it's a huge. It was
like
called like the
I thought you
Bear
were
Lodge.
talking about the McMansion in the back, because they've got
No.
one back there that's fucking massive.
Yeah, no, the one in the front is pretty massive. There's a huge upstairs. It's all like log cabin, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 beds upstairs. There's bunk beds downstairs. The couch turns into a bed downstairs. Like we had it shoved full, and it was cheap.
Huh.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
that's
was,
awesome.
yeah, it
And
was definitely worth it.
You know, that's like why I'm a big fan of Harlan and AOP compared to Rausch. I've started pricing Good Evening, and Good Evening looks like for our trip in October, you know, it's really not gonna be that bad for the weekend if we go up there for a weekend. I forget what it came out to, but I think it was like 175 with wheeling for the weekend.
That's
That ain't bad.
not bad. So we
Uh,
planned a big trip in October to go out west. We were supposed to go to Moab this year, and fuel costs are fucking outrageous. So
if instead of going to Moab, you want to go to Good Evening Ranch, we're starting to
Oh,
put
this is-
together the
this is where I was getting, fucker. So we planned on doing a couple southern properties for about a week or 2 weeks. So we were thinking like maybe go hit AOP, maybe hit Windrock a little bit, maybe hit where's Little Caesars at?
AOP.
Was that
that's
AOP?
AOP.
Okay, there was another one Mike wanted to do. Fucking
if
A.
you do
I don't
Little
know.
Caesars, I want a video because I stood on that thing. It's fucking gnarly.
No. We are doing Little Caesars. So there's no. I will go to AOP for Little Caesars.
Okay.
Also, while you're doing that, oatmeal cream pie looks a lot more mild, but just the way that the trail is set up, it is
Gnarly.
equitably as big of a bitch.
I
So-
literally like Little Caesars to me is. I don't care if we just go to AOP to do Little Caesars.
You could
Like,
probably
I'm
spend
fine
a whole
with
day on
just
that
doing
trail easily.
Yeah, but we'll do like 3 rigs, so it's not nothing crazy. Like
Mhm.
3 decently built rigs, and like me, Mikey, and like there'll probably be like Mark or so. I don't know who's gonna end up going. So it's
I mean,
our.
if you guys are gonna be down there, I'm tagging along. I'm probably not throwing my shit on Little Caesars, but it's not hard to get back from Little Caesars.
I want to
my-
ride
No,
up something up Little Caesars. My shit's got no business going up there, but I'll fly down to ride.
Yeah, no, that's so we're planning at least a week. I'm hoping for 2 weeks. Mikey's going to be starting his new job, so we're going to see what we can do for time. We were doing 3 weeks when we went out west. 1 week of driving and 1 week in Moab, and then we were going to do like some stuff in Grand Junction, Colorado. We were talking about doing a little bit of Johnson Valley.
Grand Junction is fucking gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like the weirdest
I-
mix of sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead, no, how's that?
It's like a really weird mix of green trees and red rock. Like it's so
That's
odd.
cool.
Yeah.
So you guys must know Eric Swenson.
No.
You don't know Eric
Do you
Swenson?
know the Muffin
Love
Man?
him.
Yeah, so he's got the portal
Muffin
buggy.
Man? I don't know, sir.
He's got the portal buggy on 42-inch Reds, the one Cantrini built there. He's had like a bunch
Oh,
of
okay, yep.
Unimogs, and he's like the Unimog king. Well, he bought a 1975 Peterbilt 329 in California, brought it to his friend's house, who owns Extreme 4x4 in Moab, and then flew home. So it was sitting at Extreme 4x4 since last September. So he said he knows I drive truck. He goes, "Hey, you want to drive this fucking thing back?" And I was like, "Sure, whatever." So 2 weeks ago, I flew out to Moab and drove back a 1975 Peterbilt show truck, or
That's
X,
cool,
dude.
X show truck.
Okay.
So I went through like Colorado and you know all that stuff, Colorado, Nebraska, you know Illinois, like just everything. So Iowa, all that good snaz coming back. So I drove it back through Vail, Colorado, Junction, and Denver, all that stuff. So I've been out there before, but it was just like I took a week off work and it took me like 3 days. I flew out and I got back in like 3 days. So if the truck had decent headlights, I would have drove at night. But I did like 4:30 in the morning until about 10:30 at night, and I would just crash at a hotel, and that was pretty much what I did to get that thing back. But I went out to Moab and I forgot how much I love it out there. And if the wife would move, I would move today. I
Wow.
always forget how much I love it out west until I go out there again. And I'm like, shit, why am I still here? So I would pack all my shit, sell my house, and move.
Dude,
So it's
I
no
feel
questions
that.
asked. Yeah, it's beautiful out there. You
Um,
know,
I don't want to go home. Like,
so
I
I went to Extreme 4x4's like kind of shop area. So that's the guy on YouTube with the square body Chevy with the tow truck bed on it,
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yep.
Okay.
and he does all the obstacles like backwards and shit.
Yeah.
So he's got 2.5-inch Kings on the front with bypasses.
Yep.
40s race lines, and it's got 40s on weld-ons in the back. Then he has his personal rig. Like his name's Kevin. They call him Heavy Chevy, I think is his YouTube or Instagram name. And he's got a 3+3 Chevy with a 12 valve in it on 40s. And they do off-road tours in Moab. So when I went to his shop area, I saw Reckless Rents Garage. There's Chris.
Yep.
I can't
I know
remember the
those
other guy's
guys.
name. So what's the other guy's name?
Chris
that
and
has the
Chris.
curb?
They're both Chris.
Chris and Chris. Oh, they're both Chris. Okay,
Yeah.
I forgot. I thought it was something else. So I literally pulled up to look at his Peterbilt, and I'm like, that's Chris's Suburban. I'm like, it's the bobbed coil-over Suburban on 42s. I'm like, what the hell? Then I'm looking around. There's a bomber chassis, a bunch of Toyotas on 40s. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And he's like, oh, yeah, these are all the guys that do the off-road tours. And this is where they live, in like campers in the middle of fucking Moab. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, man, I would love to live here. And he was laughing. He's like, hey, they are looking for anyone that can work. Everyone out there is hiring. I was like, oh, shit.
What?
I literally drove in a shuttle van from the airport, and I drive tanker. So I drove by an oil company that had a gigantic hiring Class A CDL sign. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I was like,
The stars are aligning.
What I do? So I sent out
Start
a picture.
street
She goes,
talking
"Are
to
you
wife."
She goes, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, they're literally hiring. They have like Peterbilt tractors. They're blue. I'm like, like I could literally move here like today. I could start working today. Like, sorry, Eric, I'm not coming home. And then, like literally, I was like, oh my god. There's only 5,500 people in Moab, and they said there's something ridiculous, 5 million people a year that go out there to see it.
Wow.
So
Wow.
like it's insane. Like they don't have enough people to staff people coming in.
Yep.
Like so there's not, but the housing market is insane out there. The woman that was doing the shuttle, she said the average house last year was $750,000.
Holy crap.
Jesus.
I was like, whoa,
Well, no wonder nobody lives there. That's insane.
whoa. Well, it's beautiful, but yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, it's just so they live like one town out of
Yep.
Moab, and like she goes, yeah, you can get a house out there for like $100,000. I'm like, oh, that's what you do. You live one town out and travel into Moab.
Mhm.
You know
It's
what I
like
mean? For work and
Boston.
stuff like
Live outside of Boston, work in it.
it's the exact same thing. Vegas, all that. If you guys have been to Vegas, it's the same thing. You live, all the taxi drivers and stuff live one town outside, and then just drive in to work every day.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely beautiful out there, and I would love to have my rig out there. And I was hoping we'd get out there this year, but fuel costs, over $6 right now it's just not a very
Yeah,
smart
it's not worth
situation.
it.
No, it was like $2,500 to bring that Peterbilt back in fuel. So I'm like,
Holy shit.
you know what I mean? Like you're talking 2 rigs on a big goose. To Tennessee, I got about 9.6 miles per gallon in my truck. Pulling the 2 rigs wasn't bad, but I'm like doing the math, and I'd probably have $4,000 in fuel
Oh my
going
god.
out there.
If not,
Yeah, just
Just
yeah,
a mo-
no more. You're right. So coming back, I saw $5.13 to $6.80. That was the fluctuation of fuel. So that's how much diesel was. There were some places that were super cheap and some places that were almost $7.
Wow.
Jesus.
So it's
That
nice.
That was the one nice thing about going down to Tennessee, where prices got cheaper and cheaper as we went down. So that was really cool, but I couldn't imagine just watching them go further and further up. Like that would just be
they go up, down, down, up, down, down. And I would get off the highway, and there'd be a Pilot and a Flying J next to each other, and the Pilot would be 570, and the Flying J would be like 620. I'm like, You just gotta go left or right. Why are we paying more money for fuel? So you're like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. So, I don't want to make life decisions at the fuel pump. And I had someone else's credit card, so it wasn't as bad. But I was putting fuel in that truck every 5 hours.
Jeez.
So it was not fun. It was not a fun ride. But whatever. It's definitely, like I said, I would move out there in a flash. I wouldn't even skip a beat.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love moving away from New England. Best thing I ever did.
yeah. Coming back, you're like kind of getting depressed. Once you hit like Illinois, like like the Cleveland area, you're like, you're like, I want to turn back around. I'll go back to my Nebraska dealing with windmills and cornfields, rather than coming back here. Yeah, Nebraska.
I don't know
it's
if I can
very
do
flat.
Nebraska.
Well, I'm just saying, you say that, but it's a lot better than New England, I think. So maybe a couple tornadoes or whatever we get up.
Yeah.
I was in a heat wave. It was 108 degrees in Moab.
Oh God.
And the Peterbilt, of course,
I
had
need
so.
cold. I need cold weather.
Yeah.
I can't do the hot. I mean, I don't know. I'd glorify Arizona, Utah, Colorado. All those areas are great, but I can't do the heat in the summer. Just the fluctuations would fuck me. I need it to be constantly cold.
Yeah. I would do any of the 4 points. If I was to move, it would be any of the 4 points. You get your Colorado, Arizona, like around that area, Texas. Like you have your little branch off in northern Texas and northern Arizona, southern Utah, southern Colorado, northern New Mexico, stuff like that, where you still have some decent weather.
I love my 40-degree winters and my 95-degree summers.
Yeah, you can keep those. I don't want those.
Yeah, Tennessee's not bad. It's just not far enough west for me. If I'm gonna go far west. I'm not gonna play the game.
I'm down for that because then the winters get worse and you can actually have fun snowmobiling. So I agree.
Colorado and stuff. I mean, southern Colorado you can go to, and then you can just travel up north when you want to get the crazy snow. Up by Vail and all that. I drove again. It was 2 weeks ago. I went out there. Vail had snow on the mountains.
Dude, I mean Vail. So it's kind of tinfoily, but Vail, like the company that owns Vail, or not Vail, but what's the big ski mountain right in Vail?
Well, I don't know the ski mountain, but
anyway, the company that they buy all the different
I think it's Boyne.
Is it Boyne? Like they change all the different things. Like there was one that kicked out snowboarders and shit. So fuck Vail. Yeah,
that doesn't sound right.
It's a mess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's what 12,000 feet above sea level. When I was in Vail, it's 12,300 feet above sea level. It's pretty fucking high. It was definitely, you were climbing for a while to get up to that. I like the Grand Junction area is beautiful. That's an awesome area, and Utah. I love Utah. I would do Utah all day. In Moab, they get snow in the mountains, and they don't really get any in the valley. So they get some, but not a lot. A few inches throughout the year, and then it melts and goes away. I would do that all day long. Well, we kind of got sidetracked and moving to Moab now. I'm
going to tie
This is an East Coast podcast. We don't talk about the West Coast.
Yeah,
how much better it is. They're Patagonians.
All right, so can we tie it back in? How was Wheeling for Warriors?
Wheeling for Warriors was awesome. I led Sucker Punch at Field and Forest. Wheeling for Warriors is awesome. That's for veteran suicide awareness. All that good schnaz. They raised a little over $75,000 this year.
Wow.
Mark St. Germain is an animal, and he's the best thing the sport could have for helping out and all that stuff. And he does so much legwork. He's nuts. He cares so much about this. It's pretty much his event that he does. He runs the whole show. Mike Craig was there, but probably not doing anything. It was, mostly Mark and all the alcoholics helped out.
Was he in the restroom a lot?
No, he was taking naps. So apparently Mike Craig takes a lot of naps throughout the day because he's very stressful dealing with himself. Apparently, he's got to take some naps. But no, Mark was up, early in the morning and pretty much almost the last one to go to bed, other than the drunk guys around the fires. But It was an awesome event. A lot of people came out. I think there was 347 people that came to Field and Forest.
Crazy.
Well, it sold out fast.
It sold out. I want to say it was within the hour.
Yeah, it was
when
one of
the
those.
tickets got posted.
I think those tickets got posted, and I was in the middle working on my shit, and like that's one of those things I wanted to go to because last year's looked so fucking. It just looked
Yeah, it was
like a
awesome
great
at
time.
Badlands. Yeah, Badlands was awesome.
Yeah, so I wanted to get in on it, but I think by the time I looked at my phone after doing whatever I was doing, it was gone. Like there was nothing left.
It was
just
I think Mark said like 9 minutes. Within 9 minutes, all the good trails sold out.
Yep.
Like everyone, I was on my phone waiting for like 6 o'clock when the tickets went on sale. I was on my phone at 5:50. I had just ready, click, 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 and I had my PayPal ready, and I just would sign it out.
Yep.
So it was a great event. A lot of people. We did a lot of properties, a lot of off-property stuff, and it was great. It was a fun time. Everyone had a blast. Rockaholics pretty much put it on, I believe. I don't want to quote that exactly, but pretty much everyone in the club was contributing and volunteering from the Rockaholics to make that smooth as possible. We were parking people, and Zach brought up a golf cart. We were driving the golf cart around and yelling at people, and parking Friday. All those vehicles. That's a lot of people at Field and Forest.
Yep.
I've
it's
never
a
seen
big
people
field, but
park.
that's a lot. 300.
Yeah, I've never
is a
seen.
lot.
We parked people in the middle field. I didn't know that was a thing. Like some guy came with a big. What are the new military trucks? They're not. Are they MRAPs? Is that what the new military
MRAP.
ones are?
I think so.
Yeah. So he came with an MRAP with a trailer on the back with a full size Chevy on tons and 40s. And I'm like, where do I even put you? Like, you're too big. Like, it was, midday Friday, like 3, 4 o'clock. I'm like, I don't even know where to put him. And then I think it was Liza or someone said, just put him in the field. I'm like, what? We can park people there? Like, I didn't know that was a thing. So I, broke down the tape, and we put him in the field and started the line. He had, 6 or 7 guys in his group. I want to stay with my friends. I understand. As long as they came in together, I would put them together. But if they were coming in 6, 7 hours apart, I'm like, bro, I can't help you.
Yeah.
If you come in together, I'll put you together. But I'm not waiting, 7 hours to block things. And it was 300 and something people at Field and Forest is a lot of people. It's a lot of people for that property. It's not a very big property, so everybody there, and Devin's band came down and they played music after the raffle on Saturday night, which was awesome. Wow. And it was a great time. I mean, the raffle was huge. They had a bunch of prizes up there. And a lot of good stuff. It was Wheel of Warriors every year is awesome. I love I do that. I do fall crawl for the big boy events, and we always lead and gun a trail for those guys. And fall crawl, I think I'm doing Easy Street for fall crawl.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so me and Mikey will do Easy Street. I'm pretty sure we're doing Easy Street. Mark was asking about that, and I said Easy Street or Sucker Punch. And I think Zach wanted to do Sucker Punch, so I'm like, I can't hog it the whole year. So I already did it once, so Zach could do Sucker Punch. And I only had bailed on my trail. It ended up being me, Mikey, Ricky Barrett, and Lemon Drop, and Chris, I call him Cinnamon, in the new buggy, him and Mark.
So you're not really leading a trail. It's just a bunch of Rockaholics guys going out.
It was a bunch of Rockaholics. It was 3 Rockaholics and Ricky. So it was a fun trail ride. So we actually had a blast. And Chris ended up winning that chassis from Mike Kentering. From Mike Kentering. He put a chassis up for Chris ended up. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, it was kind of cool to see the chassis get. Yeah, look, he had one there on 42-inch reds with Spider Tracks 9s on portals. It's pretty badass. I think it had Ecotech, an Ecotech in it. I'm pretty sure it was an Ecotech. So there was some serious. I think that was Dave Smiley's rig. He's got a pretty badass red buggy on 42-inch reds as well, and he's building a brand new small chassis.
Aren't those the red chassis or whatever ridiculous money?
Well, not the red dot one. It's just a red chassis.
It is
So
just
it's the
painted
red
red.
dot ones. Yeah, it's just painted. The red dot chassis are one of my favorites. Those are those from Ollie chassis. But that guy passed away last year or the year before, and those chassis are going for like
Jeez.
a roller is going for like 100 grand, like a turnkey 150 grand for some of those. They're nuts
That's
Jeez.
for
wild.
those chassis. Yeah, they're all fully TIG welded, 1.5" chromoly, I believe.
Yeah, it's inch and a half by 120 if I remember right.
Yeah, and they're all chromoly those chassis, so they're cool. But I'm poor. I can't
Yep.
afford $100,000. I saw it on rock crawling the other day. So Wheeling for Warriors kind of ties in a little bit there, not a crazy tangent. But one of the guys from last year had a wide open designs chassis. He's from Long Island, I believe, and he just posted up for sale on rock crawling classifieds. And I saw it for $85,000, and I'm like, man, like, I only wish I could afford that thing. It's like a really, really bass boat, shiny red. Like It's a cool look. It's a cool
you know, I
looking
think I
buggy.
saw that one. Now that you mentioned
Yeah,
the red
84,
chassis.
85,000, and the thing is just fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's just a beautiful. I would love a wide open design chassis. They're just awesome, and it's a 14 bolts front and rear, 40 spline front and rear, like coilovers, bypasses. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my
the
God.
full works. There's nothing.
The full works, like rolled tubes. I'm like, come on. You know what I mean? Like it's beautiful. He went last year, and I thought he was supposed to go this year, and I didn't end up seeing him this year. There was a lot of JKs, a lot of 37s and tons of 40s, and it was a lot of JKs, a bunch on 35s. Wheeling for Warriors is not just buggies.
Yep.
There was a lot of like Class 6 roads that Bob led. He got a new JK. Bob led a Class 6 road, and Carnage they did pretty much a little bit above Class 6. So there was a lot of like stock friendly runs, not just all the reds for the buggies. So
Yeah.
it was for everybody.
I think I got roped into probably gunning on Carnage for fall crawl, so I'll probably be doing
Oh, you
that.
did?
Yeah, he called
Yeah,
out
that-
asking for people, and Sean posted, and I was like, shoot. Well, I wanted to go to this stupid
So-
thing, and I've missed it every time, so we'll do that.
Good. Well, that's awesome. You actually go. Is Sean building a new rig? Like he cut up that a blueberry or what the fuck you
Yeah,
called it?
I cut that stupid blue one up. Me and Jacob did, and
I'm glad you did.
the new one is Tyler Cardinal's old red Cherokee buggy thing.
Oh, sweet!
Um,
I remember that one it was on coilovers.
Yep.
Coilovers and reds.
And he
Yep, I
sold
remember
it to
those.
some dude who basically fucked it up and returned it to stock suspension, Dana
What?
38 and a quarter or some bullshit. So it's got
No fucking
yeah,
way.
so they cut out the shock hoops in the front, not the back, just the front,
Oh my god.
and put in these booger welded in some Artec coil bucket brackets and shock
Oh, what an
brackets for factory.
idiot. What an
And
idiot.
they just sort of messed things up. But
Yeah.
it's not like the chassis is still there. They didn't really cut anything crazy out of the chassis. They just sort of ruined the suspension parts of it. We're putting
okay.
so we're gonna cut all that crap off, put coilovers back in the front, do
Yeah.
new shock hoops in the front. I can see where the tubes were cut off. Like I'll literally be able to recreate it almost
What was there?
for exactly what it was. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a little cheaper than that original setup, I think, but it's going to be, it'll be 1-ton axles and coilovers and 4-link front rear, or 3-link front, 4-link rear. It's going to be nice when it's done. It's going to take
Is
a minute.
that going to be a next year project or next
I
spring
mean,
or?
The initial plan was to have it done for our Badlands trip in middle of July, but that's not going to happen.
Oh.
Because
that's
we
like
didn't
3
get
weeks
the
away.
chassis soon enough, but or I don't think it'll happen. I'm not going to say no, but that's not a lot of time to get a lot of work done.
So we're thinking like a fall crop.
It should probably be done by then. I don't know. We'll see how fast we can crank it out.
Awesome.
But it's going to be a fun one. It's a cool chassis. We looked through. We got it yesterday from Eric, and we just were looking through it and took all the. I don't know if it originally had a floor.
I forgot Eric had that.
Yeah. Yeah, so he had that. He dropped it off. We brought it in, and the first thing we did was take the signs. They just sheet metal screwed these
Oh
like
yeah, of course they
DCR signs in.
did.
Like
Yeah.
there's the whole floor from like the transmission tunnel, like halfway where the shifter would be, back is cut. And
Yeah.
I don't know what's original and what the other guy cut out to cut the. They cut all the suspension mounts for the four link and the crossmember. All that came out, and they put a Clayton crossmember in. So like, I don't know who cut what. It doesn't make.
Yeah.
It's just this massive hole, and then they put DCR signs that they cut up over,
Yeah.
and it just. I don't.
God.
It doesn't. That looking at all the work that's been done to the buggy, like originally, I don't think that's what Tyler did. I don't think he
Yeah.
self-tappered that shit in there.
No, that
Um,
was pretty. I remember seeing that at Field and Forest. That was a pretty nice. That was a nice rig.
Yeah. So
Back when I was on Townsend. Right.
it's gonna need a little work on like the floor pan area just because so much is gone. But we're
Yeah.
putting different seats in it, so the seat mounts have to change, and it's gonna need floor pans anyways, and we got to put the the Dana 300 doubler thing he's got in there. So it sucks, but at the same time, we probably would have had to cut it out anyways, so it sort of saved us some time.
I don't know if it's rose-colored glasses, but the last time I saw that rig was I was wheeling with Kevin Powell and Harwinton at their Eastern Jeeps, whatever it was, property. And that thing just did so much work on Buggy Day. It was wild watching that thing go
It was
up.
beautiful. It was a good looking Cherokee. Like,
Yeah.
That was a that was a good looking. I remember when it was for sale. I'm like, that thing is cool. And then once it started getting parted out, I was like, no, yet
Yeah.
forever. You know what I mean? Like that was. I figured it was gone forever.
No,
It's good that you're bringing it back to
trying,
life.
and I've actually got a ton of. I posted like that one picture of it on the lift on Facebook, and
Yeah,
I got
I
a bunch
was
of people
wondering. I'm like,
whose is that? Like, which I know that thing, but it's green and like
Yeah.
it's missing a bunch of
That's
pieces.
what
So
threw me
everybody's like,
off.
"What?"
It was green. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, where did that? So I thought it was Keith Daigle's booger.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
little
yeah.
green one he had. I'm like, is that booger? I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like, what is that? And now it makes sense. It was Cardinals. It was
Yep.
Cardinals, right?
Yep.
So now
So-
it makes sense that well, good to bring that thing back to life. And as Luke, you're not coming up for the Badlands trip, are you?
He's too
I
poor.
don't know yet.
Jesus Christ! God damn, Graham.
I'm just
Holy
saying,
shit.
it's the gas price, or yeah, I guess gas prices for you.
Entire.
I don't expect you to make the trip unless you're flying up.
There is a potential I might fly up depending on my work schedule, but because of this weird rotating schedule I'm on, without without advanced knowledge of when I'm going to be coming off of this rotating schedule, it's really hard for me to say what trips I'm making other than say Rausch and good evening, because I can at least
Are they
for
good
those.
about days off, or are they
No,
not?
they're we're just gonna say no and leave it at that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That makes sense. Like, so my work is like the opposite. Like, it's like, hey, can I have? Yes. I'm like, well, I didn't give you dates.
yeah,
Like, I just was asking, and they said yes.
my
So
works. My
So-
work is very similar to that too. They're like, "Do you have the time?" And I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "Okay, we don't care." They're like, "Oh,
So-
okay."
yeah, my work's like you don't have the time. Like, don't get paid. That's fine. And like they just don't care. So like it's just like, oh, okay, well, I just do. Yeah, okay, sure. He's like, well, I took him. I was taking that trip, and then I took all that. He's like, well, do you just want the whole month off? And I'm like, I mean, maybe. Like that wouldn't be a bad thing to have the whole month off. But
That's
I was like, no, I can't afford that. Like, I can't afford it.
So me and my friend moved down, and we've been working on this project for a while, and we're the only two people that like actually have the technical knowledge of moving this project forward. And so every
don't
time
let that
I
stop
want-
you. I'm the only person who knows anything about anything in my department, and I'll go away. They don't.
No.
I'm taking this week
I
off.
know.
Bye bye.
But every time that I go to take a vacation, it falls on him, and he just had a kid, so they're kind of being hard on me about taking time off while he's got paternity stuff being figured out.
Listen, I have 3 fucking kids. Shut up about the paternity bullshit.
Yeah,
I took one day for each kid. So like, don't start the fucking paternity leave and all these guys taking these fucking 2 months
Yeah,
off
that's
for these
ridiculous.
kids.
I am not the one that is doing that.
Yeah,
I am
tell
just
me to
dealing with them.
get over it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
nah,
fucking you over. So be like, the kid's not sucking on
screw
your
you.
tit.
I'm going wheeling
Back to
with
work.
my friend because I left. So I'm going wheeling for this weekend. So fuck off. You're gonna have to work 2 days by yourself. Get over it. I'll help you when I get back, and I'll help you longer before I leave. Other than that, suck it up, Buttercup. Like we're not playing a game of
Graham.
not taking days.
Or what are the dates for Badlands again?
The 15th through 17th.
There you go. Yep.
I'm not even in the fucking club, and I know these days.
Do you want to know how he knows those dates? Because he asked me earlier before you
I think
guys
he asked
hopped
me
on.
at one point too. There have been multiple.
Yeah.
He's asked multiple times. He just wants to make
Well,
sure
I'm
he doesn't miss
retarded.
it.
I'm retarded. I forget dates. And I wanted to make sure that I made it. So I was like, so I wanted to make sure that I could actually get up there. So,
What's the closest airport up there?
West or East Granby or Boston, depending if you want to ride
no,
with
it's
me
Boston.
or
You can't get a East Grambling. What's he gonna take a boat up there, a dinghy?
no. He
He
can
can take a.
He can take
No,
fucking Delta. Literally has a hub in
No
fucking
way.
Atlanta, and they literally fly right out of East Granby. Do you know how
No,
far
no,
East
no, no.
Granby's? 10 minutes from me.
Nobody.
15
Western
minutes
Mass
from me.
might as well just not exist. It's like there's
Yeah,
a
what is he
cutoff.
He's on a magic school bus. What the hell is he flying into fucking Granby with? I didn't even know Granby's airport was that big.
Yeah, no, they have a
He's
big ass.
with Miss Frizzle. With Miss Frizzle flying in, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Goddamn Granby. No.
right,
With
that's
Arnold and all that.
I didn't want to come pick you up anyways, Luke. So get fucked. Never mind. Then go to Hart or go to fucking whatchamacallit. Go to Boston.
Yeah, Colin can
You're
pick you up
flying
when he
to
gets out of work.
Boston. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Unironically, looking at
flights.
flights right now, that might actually be how that shakes out if I were to do it. I would be arriving at 9:45 at Douglas International.
The fuck is Douglas
Yeah.
International?
I don't know what the fuck that is. Ain't by me.
Sorry. 12:41 at Boston.
Nope.
12:41 in the morning or 12:41 in
AM.
the afternoon? In the
AM.
morning. And what day is that?
That would probably be on the 14th.
So that's Thursday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't Colin work
Okay.
nights?
Yeah,
He
he
does.
works nights, but he usually leaves before then. I guess it would depend on where you stayed. If you stayed at, I'm only half an hour-ish away from Logan, so I could scoop you at 12. That's not the end of the world. If you want to do that, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. I don't know if I want to do that or not. Also, because that's going to be $1,000 for me and Morgan to go up.
Oh, do it. Money comes back. Badlands
Money
trips,
does
those
come
are once
back.
a year.
Money does come back, but I also want to go wheeling on my birthday weekend. So that's where things get complicated.
I don't know.
Yeah,
put it on.
You cut out for everything there. I'm going to assume it was insulting.
No, I said $1,000 is a little outrageous.
It is.
$1,000.
$1,000 to go see the boys. It costed fucking me and Graham way more than that to go down and wheel an AOP.
Yeah, but like,
You were bringing
What
your
they-
rigs. You know,
I didn't bring a rig. I don't want to fucking hear. I drove a big ass. I drove a
Because
bus
you're
down
retarded.
there.
You should have brought a rig. You should have brought a
No,
rig.
because it would have costed me probably another fucking $1,000.
Listen,
you
Graham's
have a tow rig?
He's got a Super Cummins now. He could have
Yeah.
fucking pulled a goose behind his Cummins.
Oh yeah, do that. So what? So he can jackknife my Jeep on the back
Oh yeah,
too?
yeah. No, we were. So I may have to put a goose on it for Badlands. So that's something that might need to happen.
Because a friend is coming along.
No, because Colin
Oh.
doesn't have a fucking
The
he can't
balls
use his
to-
red Cummins. You know, his big $27,000 tuned deleted diesel is now a giant paperweight because if he gets another ticket for the inspection sticker not being you know,
There and all.
good to go, then he'll basically, I don't know what the deal is. He basically he just can't
It
get
goes to state
pulled over with the thing
inspection
again.
at that
So
point.
he's not chancing it for like little trips like that. So we either driving the thing or we're putting Miguel's. And I don't even know if Miguel knows that this is. So what we were talking about was taking that green gooseneck and throwing that on my truck. But I don't know if that'll even happen because it's really not that far of a haul. He might be able to drive his shit there, but I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
be
it's
honest with
registered.
you,
and-
Graham. Your truck with 2 rigs on it would not do good going to Badlands.
Yeah,
That would
It would be
like
fine. It would be fine.
I don't
Is that
think
stick or
so.
is that auto?
it's
Auto.
auto.
And
Is
it's
the
already
trans
having
It's stock.
tranny issues.
It's not having issues. What are you talking about?
Oh, it just doesn't know where third gear is. You're right. That's not an
Yeah, it
issue.
doesn't love third
No, that-
gear, but I
No,
think that's
but
normal.
like, in all seriousness, Cody, my dad's got 400,000 miles on his. It has not known where third gear is the entire time, and on 3 different transmissions.
It
And
just
that's
doesn't
great.
like.
Manually.
That's
Huh?
great, but it's not towing roughly 15,000 pounds up steep hills.
It has.
Yeah, well, I don't need
Okay,
third gear
that's-
for steep hills, anyways.
Yeah, second. Well,
Oh, you're right. No,
you
yeah,
got
you
thing
need
in two.
you
Yeah.
need
Yeah,
first for
two
that
fucking
90
under.
degree. You need the first gear for that 90-degree corner that literally just goes fucking up.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
just literally turn and
Badlands, I'm like, we're going to heaven? What the hell is this road? It just keeps going up. Like, yeah, no, it's pretty gnarly going to Badlands. It's
Yeah,
definitely
that one
it's
hill.
not a far ride, but yeah, that one. Even though and pulling into the park or whatever you want to call it, pulling into the property.
Yep.
That road going up there sucks. I'm in
Yeah.
like low range going up that road. You know.
this year I think we're going out to North Adams and up. It only adds 15 minutes and there's the one hill on Mass Pike. So like it's
What are you
really-
worried about? Are you pulling your Cherokee behind your dad's truck?
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, I can go sit in fucking luxury. No, so my brother-in-law's borrowing my truck, throwing it onto a trailer, and then I'm using my grandfather's trailer with my dad's truck because it would be enclosed with a fucking Laramie. Yeah, I'm in. Sign me.
That's
the
what I'm
fuck up.
saying. So why are you driving around 15 minutes when you got the fucking fancy dancy truck?
That I don't have an answer. There's no
You're
answer.
being a bitch. You're being a bitch. You're being a bitch.
I've done
So-
that trip with no problem at all. Don't you start with me, Mister. All right.
You got
Why are you
fucking-
avoiding the hill? Are you scared of the hill?
Yeah, the bougie truck avoiding the hill. Like, what's going on? My old piece of shit 7.3 is going to go up those hills. I'm not fucking driving an extra 15 minutes.
Because there's no point to put extra strain on the truck if we don't have to for 15 minutes. It's not
Listen,
worth it.
15 minutes,
What-
15 minutes.
Extra strain on the truck. We're
Yeah,
literally going
fuck.
to beat the crap out of vehicles in the woods. What's a little extra strain on the
You're
truck?
You're pulling a single place trailer. What's the fucking extra strain on this?
First off, it's a fully enclosed 30-foot aluminum, so you can suck my ball. No, it's not 30 foot. It's not 30 foot. It's
Yeah,
it's 28.
32
It's 28.
Yeah, pulling a 32-foot goose with 2 rigs on it. Like, shut up.
All right, you got a fucking point. Okay, Chris, you are right.
17,900 pounds with the 2 rigs on the goose.
And it's funny, the tow capacity of those rigs back in the day was 11,000 pounds.
Listen, mine's 12. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so it made the trip to Tackett Creek. It was almost 3,000 miles with 18,000 pounds in the trailer. So
Jesus Christ. Is
It's
that
fine.
including the trailer, obviously?
No, the trailer itself is 18,000 pounds. Trailer,
With
Buggies,
the rigs. Gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
so it's 18, and my truck is like 7,700.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like 25,740 we weigh.
So I just cybernetically assaulted Colin on the note of his truck being a paperweight.
Oh, geez. It's already bad enough. It's already dented the fuck. It looks worse than
He's
his
fixing
Cherokee.
that soon, allegedly. We'll see if
So
that
is it
happens.
because it's deleted, you can't get a sticker?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's planning on at some point here in the sometime in the next 25 days to a year, wanting to move to New Hampshire to where he can register. and not
25
have to
days
worry
to a
about it.
year.
So
Um,
New Hampshire, make sure he checks on that because New Hampshire's cracking down a lot.
I've already told him that I'm pretty sure the inspection laws can be worse than Mass.
So John Dishon has a twin turbo 2014 Cummins. That's all deleted, and he can't get a sticker.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know how the whole Make sure he checks into that before he thinks
He
he's gonna
says he
get
has. I don't know.
I've been
I don't know
telling
either.
him. I've been telling him to just register it in Vermont. You legitimately do not need an address. You do.
So
all
that
you
Peter,
need is a place.
I drove that Peterbilt back from fucking Moab with RV Vermont plates on it.
Yeah, Vermont.
It is
there's-
registered in Vermont as an RV, and he doesn't have land up there.
and it is weird because there's some, I don't know, like they literally, like, so a buddy of mine drove around on attached plates that he was a friend of mine at the time. He was like 17. He stole plates off of a car in Vermont, attached them to his BMW that he would drag race with, and his plate would probably get run a million times. He would have cops following him. Never once got pulled over for it. I don't know what is up with Vermont, and it's just like this little secret place to get your car registered.
Well, it's not a secret
but-
either. Like I feel like the Vermont loophole has been it's
No, I'm saying on the
decently known.
the police side of it, where like they just can't see the proper
yeah.
information to like.
So we used to do trailers in Maine. That's my last trailer was registered in Maine.
I think
Because
they're
you can do
cracking on
five.
that though,
You
right?
can do five. Yeah, you can do 5 years for like $200.
Oh shit!
And then they started cracking down on mass plates with Maine trailers, which you can't say shit because you can just say it's not my trailer. You can just play dumb on that until they run it and your name comes in. But you could just they were cracking down. I heard. I never got stopped with Maine plates on my trailer, but I know that they were definitely cracking down on that.
So if you
and it
know
was kind of emotional.
if you know someone that has a piece of property in Tennessee, you can register your trailer to their property for a lifetime registration for $125.
Oh my
A
god,
lifetime registration.
that's fucking awesome. That is awesome.
You know,
And
I'm
you're
just
covered by insurance on your truck. So you stayed. So I was looking into this because I have the camper on the front of my Goose. So I have a 25-foot Goose, and I got the camper on the front of it, my buggy on the back. My wife called the insurance company talking about adding extra coverage because of the camper and stuff.
Yep.
And she goes, "Well, your truck's covered. Your rig is covered on there, but you're only covered up to like $15,000.
Yeah,
So like that's where there's like a kind of a gray area. Like if you really fuck up and roll the truck, like the camper, the buggy, which the buggy would probably be in theory okay. You might have some vent tubes or maybe rip the axles out of it or something like that. But for the most part, I think the buggy would be okay. But you got to have that, what if, or like a fire or something like that. That's what always got me. Like, what if the truck caught on fire and took out the fucking trailer? That would suck.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know that for Mass, and it's great conversation, but I know with Mass, like you just fake your RMV1 form that like your insurance was notified that the trailer was being added, but they don't actually fucking add it. It's so odd. But I do know that like the only time that they ever insure is like when you have payments. Like that's the only time that.
So yeah, you don't need to register a trailer in Mass with insurance. So you can go to the registry, pay the sales tax, and not put insurance on your trailer as long as you don't have a lien on it.
Yeah, but they so when I went to go do my other one, because that thing is still sitting in the backyard. Besides the point, they needed an RMV1 form for it, or
Really?
RMV1 or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah,
Yes, RMV1. You're right.
It's that's just so weird to me, especially when it's literally not going on the insurance, and it's like if I just bring it would make more sense for them to ask my truck title to be attached to it than like that would make more sense to me of being like, okay, so the truck that it's getting pulled by or should be pulled by has insurance, it's good to go. But it's fucking weird.
I was looking. It's so cheap. It's like I think it was like $200 a year, or it's something dumb to put like $20,000 or $30,000 in coverage on your trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, just the Goose alone. Mine's an '09, so my trailer alone is worth like I don't know about $8,000. I don't even know like price wise. Like just to replace my trailer alone, if someone fucking T-boned me or ran me off the road, like if you twisted the tongue on it, or like just to get your trailer back, like finding another one, you need like $10,000, not including whatever the hell's in the back of it. You know what I mean? Like if the camper gets wrecked, which most likely if you roll, the camper's fucking junk.
Yeah, totally.
So
That thing's a yard sale.
it's like fucking toothpicks. Yeah, you know what I mean? The thing's gonna fucking yard sale off of there. So I'm gonna I haven't registered mine yet. I gotta get on that and register my trailer, and I'm just gonna do some small coverage. And I was gonna do the main thing as well, but I figured, fuck it, I might as well just do the mass thing, and it's more money, but at least I know it's covered by insurance wise, and if something ever happened to us,
Yeah.
because people cannot drive, so you end up crashing. Someone crashes into the back of you or something like that, and you end up killing them or something dumb. So I'd rather just go for the insurance and try that way.
Mhm.
Somewhat legal for now. But yeah, we get sidetracked again. Went into some trailers. The old trailer talk there. Was there any other questions you had for me? I remember we talked about some like mini bulletins before we started, but I
We
couldn't
didn't.
remember.
The jungle wasn't that your most recent?
Yeah,
deal?
went to the jungle last weekend. We did the summer bash at the jungle, so we got up there Friday. Mikey's Cummins was being a piece of shit. The sleeve cylinder, master cylinder, we think is on its way out, so the clutch wasn't disengaging, so it wasn't happy. You had
That's
to shut it
annoying.
off to back up. You had to like shut it off, put it in reverse, and start it.
Oh, jeez.
It was kind of aggravated. And pulling in the jungle's like a hairpin 90. It's actually probably like 110. It's more than 90 to pull in there. So with a 32, I had my goose.
Yeah, and he's got a goose
25.
on that thing, right? So.
I had my 25 and he had his 32, and I made it, but he couldn't. So we had to do some Austin Powers stuff to get him in there. There was probably, I'd say, like 30 rigs. It was a good amount of people. And the jungle is a great property. If you guys haven't been there, you get to go up there, talk to Devin, take a ride up there. That's a great property. We wheeled. So Friday night we went out for a quick night run, and then did like some of the blues and blacks. And then Saturday we did a new trail that Paul Barnes just cut. I can't remember the name of it. And then we ended up doing like pretty much every trail out there. We ended up on like Dirty Sanchez and Wrong Turn, and we did all the reds out there on Saturday. Ended up the half pipe. Everybody this year except one rig made the half pipe. It was so dry.
What is that?
Everyone
Pipe?
actually. Half pipe is the hardest obstacle at the jungle, pretty much.
Oh, really?
That
Okay.
if you like YouTube, like the Busted Knuckle video of the jungle, when Matt came up from Busted Knuckle, it shows the half pipe and like nobody made it. Normally the rock is soaking wet. It was bone dry. I pulled into the rock with my piece of shit buggy, and normally I turn driver, like kind of get up onto it and then back up and I just whack it. I literally turned driver and crawled up and I went, what the fuck? I'm like, I've never done that before. So it was so dry that like everybody was making it. So only one guy didn't. And it was a Beat Samurai. It said Pornhub on the side. Had a big sticker from Pornhub on the side. It was pretty funny. He just bought it from like Georgia or South Carolina or something like that. It's a Samurai on toy axles and like 38s. Like it was a jalopy rig for sure. He rolled over, and then we rolled him back, and then he tried it again, and it was on propane. It wouldn't run, and then he kept trying, ended up rolling again, and when we pushed him back over, it ended up bending both axle tubes in the back when it landed from the flop. It was all stanced out, and we drug him out of the woods, and he was kind of broken, but we wheeled the whole time. Me and Mikey, we didn't break. No real catastrophic failures, and the jungle is a great property.
Okay,
very-
I'm watching the Busted Knuckle video now.
Okay, so
It doesn't look like a half pipe,
Yeah.
but they're already
like,
rolling.
Yes. So it doesn't show you. It's actually hard to get to that. It's all loose, like 12, 18-inch rocks that are loose getting
Oh,
to it.
like the
So
worst
it's like-
ones that just get hung up
so
on
like,
everything.
move exactly. Then you hit your diff, and they get moved all around and all that stuff. So it's kind of a pain in the ass to get to. And then again, videos don't show justice to how steep that is.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look not steep.
That. Yeah, you couldn't walk that with your shoes. Like you couldn't run up that.
Yeah.
There's no way you're running up that.
Well, at least there's a big tree behind it to catch you when you roll backwards.
You don't. So that tree just spins you, and then you flop 5 or 6 more times.
Oh,
So it just ends up. So if you look at where the is, you'll roll 3, 4, 5 times before you end up at the bottom.
Ah.
So when you roll, it's real bad. So It's definitely like he got lucky when he rolled. It was just one roll, onto his side, onto his roof, and then stopped on his roof. He bent his front stinger up and pretty much made it flat. That's probably what stopped him from sliding. And the same thing with the second time. He ended up landing on his roof again, which stopped him because you normally go 3 or 4 times when you go. It's not a good roll. Yeah, it's not a good roll when you go down that. So you have to fully commit, and you can't be scared. So when you get onto it, there's a lot of throttle, and make sure that you're going the right direction, and you either make it or you don't.
Yep.
Pretty much point and shoot.
Yeah, point and shoot. Like if you can dig, get your front tires hot normally, and I've done it 3 times. This is my third. Once in the winter, and twice in the summer, and I've made it all 3 times.
Well, that can't be that bad. If you're doing it in the wintertime, it can't be that bad.
No, it can be, I'm sure.
It was a lot of throttle, and I made it, but I didn't make it easily. But I made it, so it was just a lot of throttle, and it was we had a very mild winter last year, so the snow came after we did half pipe. We ended up with like 4 or 6 inches of snow when we went last time.
Tell me about that. When you were on the way back and it started snowing.
Yep, that was last time. So it was okay before the snow. So when that rock's wet at all, you won't make it. Like no one makes it. This is actually. Do you know?
What?
You cut out.
Do you know Cam Udemacher? I think it's
Udemarks or whatever it is.
Udemark. I can never say his last name right. But the guy with the 252 rock boxer. He's never made it. He's never made it in 7 years. He made it this weekend.
Wow.
So he's 1,200 horsepower, stroke 6.2 with a supercharger on it. And he runs methanol and E85.
Shit.
It's crazy.
It's 1,200 wheel horsepower.
And he can't make it up? Do they just spin too fast? He just breaks it loose too fast?
I'm just saying it's that gnarly. So it's not like it's not not everybody makes it. You know, like it's not it's a luck and you have to be in the right place at the right time. And I've seen him bouncing second and third gear limiter. He had 43-inch stickies last year. This year he's got 40-inch USDs on there. And I mean he was singing when he made it. But he made it. So it's the first time, like I said, in 7 years. No one normally makes it. Like maybe one person out of the group. Everybody but that one buggy made it. I was amazed to see.
Wow.
There's probably 15 of us, and every one of us made it.
You think it was driver mod then?
No, it was just dry.
Oh god. No, I'm saying the guy that couldn't make it. Do you think it was driver mod?
No, yeah, the buggy was a piece of shit, and he was just having fun. It wasn't even running. He was like rev limiter and dropping it. And it was like sputtering, and it was 1,000%. He would just it was just a piece of shit, right? And but he had fun, and it said Pornhub on the side of it, so it was kind of funny. And then it was just everyone was laughing and cheering him on, and he ended up on its roof, and it was fun to watch. It was definitely a fun event. The jungle is always good. Devin's a great guy. Devin and his dad, they're great people. His sister was cooking, did a bunch of like burgers and dogs.
No, the jungle isn't open all the time, right? It's only for specific.
Nope. Twice a year. Twice a year they do a summer bash and they do a winter bash.
Yep.
Summer bash is normally in June, and winter bash is normally the last couple weeks of December. First week of January. It's normally in that range, like last week of December, first week of January.
Oh, that's right. And it was like a snow mess when you guys were leaving. I remember last winter bash.
Yep, that was the last time I talked to you guys.
Yep.
We just had left winter bash. Kind of funny every time I talk to you. I just see the jungle.
Yeah.
So that was the last time I was up there. And every time he does a trail cleanup or anything, I will be going up there just to help. And I love that property. And it's like a 2.5 hour ride from my house. Not too bad.
Oh, that ain't bad.
You go up 89, 91, 89, and it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes from my house. So it wasn't a bad deal. And it's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful property. Hop on top of the mountain. It's just in a huge field. It's cool. It's a cool property to go to. You guys definitely should try to get up there for either winter bash or next year's summer bash.
Keep
Yeah,
us updated. That sounds like a good time.
Timmy was bugging me about going to this summer bash, and I would have gone had I not been, going to Saco. That was already planned. I wasn't going to change that.
Yeah.
So,
I remember
But-
you said that. Yep, you had the Stacko trip going.
yeah.
So, no, I'll keep you in the loop next time on the dates and stuff like that.
Yeah,
when
that's
we
the
go,
thing is, for whatever reason,
back.
I never see those when those events are happening.
Are you friends with Devin on Facebook?
I don't think
No.
so. So
That's
I
why
may
I
need
don't
to
see
do
it.
that.
So it's you gotta
So you
friend
got to
request
know the
Devin.
people to know to get the.
Yep. If you're not friends with if you're not on Devin's friends list, you don't go.
Gotcha.
That's
No,
how
we
it
got
works.
if we get an invite from one of the big homies, I feel like we could go.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I could.
You
talk
can
to him
send the
for you guys
link.
up there.
That's what Timmy did. He sent me the link, and I was like, "Shit." Well,
Yep.
it's the same weekend as
You have
Saco.
to ask. Yeah, you have to ask Devin, get permission from Devin, and then I gotta vouch for you, dumbasses,
Yep.
and say that you guys are gonna be good people and you're not gonna be shit back.
Whoa.
And then
Listen, if
You're
the
making
Pornhub
me
buggy
think
can
less
go,
of your character there, Chris.
yeah,
Please stop doing this to me. I really, really like you as a person, and you're one of the few things that makes going back to New England almost livable besides the rest of the retards on this podcast and my
yes.
family.
where is this going?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a
On a
couple
tangent.
mixed in there.
Mainly just insulting Chris for saying that we're
That's-
good people and saying that
Oh.
I enjoy you people.
Yeah, well, I have to say that you're good people to let Devin bring you up. If you guys are shitbags, I can't just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring some shitbags up here." And, we don't want to wreck because you're on his property and you got to
Yeah,
be respectful. And, you can't bring someone up that's going to be a meatball and wide open throttle crash into somebody or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So on that note, also, since you're almost good people, when are you going to the backyard?
What
I don't know.
backyard?
That'd be
Oh.
a Richie. Richie's got a schedule
There's
some of
a-
those.
Listen,
It's
we're waiting
October.
for the fucking invite.
I gotta find my fucking paper that had all the available dates.
Listen, paper. What the fuck is this? Paper is 1912.
Yeah.
Paper.
This is
What
Richie
the
we're
fuck is
talking
your
about.
goddamn phone?
I just learned who MGK was today.
Learn who? Well, I just learned who the word.
Listen,
God.
someone get him a smartphone or something so he can a BlackBerry. I don't know what is that in his life, but get him something with a little ball in the middle there, a little story throw. Like get him
Sidekick.
something.
I think
Sidekick. Yeah.
Yeah.
BlackBerry Pearl, I think it was, with the little fucking ball in the
Yeah.
middle. You
Oh,
can set up his
shit.
agenda. Yeah, fucking piece of paper.
Well,
Well, get me on that list with a piece of paper, please. And
you've been on the list.
I just need to know when you guys are doing something, and when you assholes go down there, I'll take a ride down.
Sweet.
Yeah. Even
So,
Overly had a good time.
Yeah, no, Jim's a great. Jim actually dropped out of the club this year.
That's
Really?
sad.
Yeah, I don't. He's got a lot of stuff going on, personal stuff I think in his life, and he's having problems with his shoulders, and he's having a lot of body issues.
Mm.
Like
that
his
sucks.
body was kind of falling apart around him. Great guy, I love Jim. Jim's a great guy. I don't know why. Kind of sucked that he fell out. It was the $100. I'm gonna give him the $100 to stay in the club for a year. Like, whatever. Like he's a good guy. He came to a lot of the off-road events. He was always with us. Like he always.
Oh yeah, it seemed like he was always out.
yeah.
The
he was always with
entire
us.
time I have ever known of Mr. Overly, he has always been pushing, and we're going on probably 8 years of me knowing about him, so I'm willing to bet that he's done some stuff that his body probably hates him for.
Yeah, no, he said he's at the point now when I talked to him. So I bought my gooseneck trailer off of him, and I'm pretty sure he said he has to sleep in a straitjacket.
Oh, what
So
the fuck?
his arms have to be crossed and pulled tight, or his shoulders tear, like when he sleeps.
That sounds terrible.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he has to I think he said he has to have both arms pulled tight, and then his shoulders, because it's so bad, like it's almost like go to the hospital, excruciating pain. He's tearing. I think he said he's tearing the inside of his shoulders when his arms are like kind of bowing out. He was just hard on his body his whole life, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's just got shoulder injuries and
Well, he
his
rolls that buggy
so-
every 15
and-
minutes, so
Yeah,
That can't be helping.
we back in the day, talking about back a while ago, we were at Harris Mountain. The first time I ever went to Harris Mountain, it must have been 4 years ago, and he rolled that DJ buggy he had, and then he's like, "Roll me back over," and I'm like, "You getting out?" He's like, "No, just roll me over in the buggy." I'm like, "Whatever." So we like hooked the winch on to Sean's rig and pulled him back over, and he came down and he hit so hard when his tires hit the ground, he got kidney punched by one of the tubes in the chassis,
Ugh.
and the guy was pissing blood. I'm like, "Dude, you are fucking hardcore." So I was like,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah, he's still like, dude, just get out of the buggy and let them roll it. Like, why be? That's fucking him already buckled. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So they pulled him back over and he got wrecked. And he's like, yeah, I pissed blood for like 2 days. I'm like, that's good. That's supposed to do that. Like,
No.
that's not a.
Insane.
Yeah, like he's a very tough guy. So
Yeah.
I think his body finally just said, fuck you, I'm done.
Yep.
And he's having some issues.
I can appreciate being a tough guy, but that's insane.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, if you've seen him wheel, he's definitely not scared of throttle.
Nope.
I-
Not at all.
Yeah.
And
He's pretty
while
nuts.
he's doing all this, he's still doing the overly built off-road stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah, and
Good
that may
for
be
him.
part of
Yeah,
it, right? Is if he's trying to grow
Yeah,
his
no, you're in your own
business.
shop. Yeah, you're in your own shop, and money's huge right now. Fuel costs are outrageous.
Yeah.
You guys, he lives pretty far. I think he's in Meriden, Connecticut. So it's a fucking ride. It's probably a 3-hour ride to come to Field and Forest. It's a It's a hike.
3 hours to
I-
F and F, and it's 5 hours to Rausch from there.
yeah. So I'm saying it's a long ride, and 3 hours plus fuel plus he was having tow rig issues, and he was swapping over to that 3500 HD 2000s truck there. They had the OBS style Chevy. He was doing a bunch of work to that because it was like 8-1 swapped and with a stick, and he was doing a bunch of
That's
things.
cool.
So yeah, it was a cool truck. It was like a cabin chassis truck that he put an 8-1 in with a 5-speeder or something like. It was a cool truck, but that's Jim. He's always doing something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I felt bad that he kind of like bowed out this year. We kind of miss having him some of the runs and stuff like that. It was cool to have him because he was always in a good mood and he always had a lot of energy. So you don't want to lose people like that in the off-road
No,
community.
it sucks to lose people like that.
No, if you lose people like Cody or something, that's okay. But
Yeah,
like
it's fine.
you don't want to
Anyways.
lose people. Yeah, you don't want to lose people like
Ouch.
like guys that actually care about the sport. You know what I mean?
You
And
know,
actually wheel their rigs.
that's like the only actual dig that's been thrown at Cody by you this entire time.
Listen, I have at least one in here. I'll get a couple more. I'll get a couple more. He's quietly in the corner, so he hasn't said anything. So I can't give.
Because I've been listening. I don't know. I swear the
Yeah.
times that we have good guests on that just talk, I just listen.
Yeah.
You know?
No. I can't give him too much shit. So, and he says he's gonna wheel in 2 weeks at Badlands. So
My rig will be
he
there.
says
Is it done?
he said
It's been done. What do you mean?
No, it doesn't have hydro assist in it yet. Just
Oh, you're
slave away
right.
in that fucking box, and you're not even gonna install it. That's like a 2-hour adventure.
Yeah,
What's
but it's
it?
also
In
like
and out, Morty. I swear to God, 2 hours.
Yeah, with $300 on top of it too.
What do you need $300 for?
Because I'm gonna break something and then I'm gonna have to fix it.
Well, yeah,
Oh, actually, no. Know what? It's easily $300 because I still need a fucking brace.
Cody, where do you live?
Springfield.
Oh, you're in Springfield. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
You're probably like a half hour to me.
No, it's like an hour and a half.
No, Springfield to my house?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brookridge
No,
is
you can't
literally
do
an
that.
hour and a half.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think like half hour, 45 minutes.
No.
So yeah, well, fucking figure something out. I'll come down there and help your ass.
Alrighty. Well,
if you want a
have to
poverty
do-
ram, we've got the old ram from.
I literally have a PSE RAM
Oh my
sitting it's sitting behind me in my goddamn closet. Like
What do you need to do? Like, what do you need to do to
I need
attach
to
that?
so what I need to, the RAM, nothing. I have all the mounts and everything, but obviously I need to get the lines. The lines are cheap and stupid simple, so I'm not worried about that. But it's literally the fact of like, okay, so I need a brace, but why would I get the $300 brace when I could spend $600, do the hideaway winch mount with the brace, which is $600,
Yeah, I like that idea.
and then keep the bumper I have, so then I don't have to build or buy. A new
Why
bumper.
can't we rig it now just to get the ram assist?
Yeah.
Just
So
to get you,
Cody,
You don't. The brace isn't gonna save you. I
the
mean,
ram assist
it'll the ram assist will do more than the brace will.
yeah,
yes, 100%. Takes all the stress off.
my rig proves that.
Well, then
Yeah, Luke doesn't
okay.
have one.
So that's okay. Then
You should still
alright,
do
so we
it.
lose? Yes.
It's helpful, but I don't think it's required. And like Luke said,
No,
he's gotten away with it.
you're right.
Yeah.
But the main people that I would work on my rig with then, now I'm just coming up with more excuses, but this is just a reason to clarify,
I just told you, cunt.
are working on their Jeeps and have asked for my help to get to Badlands with them.
Well,
So,
they can.
Listen, if they're asking you for help to work on a Jeep, they're fucked. I'm just telling you that. Right? If they're asking Cody for help on the Jeep. Fucking figure it out. I get out of work super early. It's summertime. Figure it out. I don't give a fuck if it's a day during the week. And I'll drive my ass down to you, and we'll make that fucking happen.
So we
No
can make it even
excuses.
easier. Ryan has offered for me to bring it to his house and me and him can do it. And he has a welder and everything set up. So like, I'm just a piece
Yeah,
of
I have a welder and
shit.
everything. I have a welder. I got a plasma. We have plenty of tools too. So
All right.
you can get it up this way.
What are you doing this weekend?
Through the forest, bro.
Fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
We can talk about it. We can talk. Oh yeah, no, it's 4th of July. Never mind. This weekend wouldn't work. Never mind. That wouldn't work.
Yeah. So, but if you can get it up here before we go to Badlands, my house is probably on your way to Badlands.
No, you're way.
Oh,
more
you
west
go
than
up
I
to
am.
Springfield. Yeah, you go up Springfield.
I go
Yeah,
straight
so you
north
go
on
straight up.
91
Yeah.
to Greenwood or Greenfield and then over. All right, well, we can talk about
Put
that.
it this way: we have an open spot on the Goose.
Fuck.
So if you get your rig up to me, we have an open spot on the Goose where we can put your Cherokee on the Goose. You can drive your bougie ass fucking Laramie Longhorn up there without a rig. You can even take the easy way because you won't have the extra weight of the fucking Cherokee. And
You
then
can save the 15
you
minutes.
can save the 15 fucking minutes, and then we'll bring your fucking ship box up there, and then you'll have it. I'll be up Friday. So
I'll be up Friday.
I took Friday off, so I'll be up Friday morning.
I think Richie's phone.
It's just
Poor
died.
Richie.
Oh,
Oh, he's back.
Richie's back. So if you can get me the rig, we can get the fucking steering done.
God damn it! Now you're making it too easy for me. Now I can't say no.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
that's
it
the whole
because
point.
my weekends are literally free and I get out at work at 3:00. So like there's no excuse. So like I can easily do it. I just
So get it up to me and we can get it done. You know what I mean? Like if you're being a real big bitch, we'll get it done. I don't care.
fuck.
So get the me and Mikey will donate. I'll volunteer. Mikey doesn't know, but I'll volunteer. We will donate the time and the shop space to get your ass up there and going.
Fuck, because now I'm really thinking about it. It's really like 3.
He said your box is already tapped too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I set it all up for him.
God, you're a fucking cunt. Get this thing up.
God damn it.
My friend's dad makes hydraulic lines too, so my buddy's dad makes hydraulic lines. It's probably would cost us almost nothing to get hydraulic
Oh
lines.
fuck me. God damn it.
So, like,
Well,
I don't even understand like why you
You know what it's gonna cost Cody? It's
No, it's not
gonna
gonna cost
cost
anything.
Cody a session with Caitlin and the fucking strap on.
Old pagan accent. Whatever,
Dude, let's talk about that really quick. So you know how you posted your most recent thing, Chris, about the whole OnlyFans afford some IROCs? My aunt messaged me about this, and I've been waiting because I have family on there, and she was just like, "Hey, I saw what your friends have been posting on your page, and I'm a little concerned." And I go, "All right, I'm gonna have to break this down for you because otherwise this sounds fucking wild." She was like, "If you want to put yourself out there on the internet like that, you can." And I'm like, all right, no, this is not happening. I literally had to fucking explain it to her, and she was like, "Oh, you should find better friends." I'm just like, God damn it, here we go.
So I'm gonna start tagging you in all the pegging.
Oh God,
just to get you on that and have to explain yourself to your family. So,
No, Mom, I swear.
I'm not gay. I'm not gay. No, my family just gave up watching my feed, so they just probably blocked me and gave up on my feed. So there's not even a point in trying to. Why do you do that? Like, there's not even a point.
So, if you post enough extremist content, your family will eventually unfollow you, and your
That's what I'm
friends
saying,
can joke with you.
Yeah, I know. My friends have always joked with me, and I don't really care if my family follows me about it. If you don't have a sense of humor about that shit, I don't have time to deal with you anyway.
Oh, same. Honestly, same. Like, it's just because like that was the normie side of my family. Like, they just don't understand how and they don't
understand
her family
pegging lifestyle, you know.
but also but they grew up. I'm not gonna say it. They don't get it. They don't get the fun. The missionary peoples. Gross.
No. Anyways, regardless of the pegging thing, get your fucking shit box, message me, and get this thing. We'll get it situated. So you can at least get some fucking steering in there because it's almost no work to.
Yeah, it takes 2 seconds. You weld the tabs on for the fucking RAM, and
we could probably do it before we fucking go up. Like, it's not even like Friday morning. We could do a fucking Friday morning session if you're being a really big bitch, and unload it off the trailer, fucking fix the steering, and then go up.
Nah, well, I have free weekends, so we could figure this out. And
I actually don't. I don't have any plans next weekend.
Okay.
So I think I'm pretty sure I'm off the books next weekend.
Well, the whole internet might be a week behind on this. The next episode, if you hear us mocking Cody, he has not figured it out.
Listen, I offered to help, so you can drag a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. So I've offered to help him, and if he can't do that, that's on him.
Yep.
So if he can't,
Cody, you might be at the bottom of the barrel for friends and scraping up wood chips, but the wood chips are trying to help you put steering in your rig. So
I'm offering to help you. Like, I'm offering to,
wood chip.
you know what I mean, to give your hand. So just so we can get your shipbox going. Like, I'd like to see you out wheeling and having fun and stuff. You know, I don't care that you don't actually wheel, but
the plan was to just send it and hope that my box doesn't rip off. To clarify, that literally was the plan. It was just like, it's been fine driving down the road and all of that lately. The AC still works. So fuck it. Worst case scenario is we drag it out on its side. I throw it back in the trailer, and then I continue doing what I was planning to do, which was then the hydro.
Yeah, but if you don't have to kill your rig and you can keep your rig going, other than the fact that you're being a pain in the fucking ass, just get it done. You know what I mean? Like, fix the steering so you can actually get in the trail and enjoy it. Wheeling, you want to be able to enjoy wheeling. You don't want to have to, fight and struggle and just to turn. It's a miserable experience when you can't turn, you can't, because you already can't drive. So when you can't turn into that, like, you're just making things that much harder on yourself. So try to get it so you can at least steer. You know what I mean?
God damn it!
Yeah, he had to open me up to give me shit. So Luke said to start giving it to you. So
you're absolutely correct. And it seems like every time I get shit, I come to an epiphany of like, oh, I'm just retarded. Every time.
You have enough friends like in the area. Just ask. You know what I mean? Like, don't think you're like. It never hurts to ask a question. Like, just say, hey, can you give me a hand doing this? Like, 99% of the people like Graham, and I know he's busy doing a million things. I'm
pretty sure we offered, and I built his box, so I already got my brownie points for that.
I'm saying, but like you got enough friends where like you just kind of like throw it out there, call in or whatever. Me, like just throw it out there. One of us will make something happen. Like, we can always fit you in the schedule somewhere. It's not like it's not a
somebody's
burden
got free time.
Someone trying to, you know what I mean? You're trying to help out someone that's trying to do something cool. Like, I'm gonna give you shit. Just gonna give you shit regardless if I do it or not. But like, I'm just saying, like, you wanna help your friends out. I want you to enjoy wheeling. I want people to go out and have fun. I want to go out and have laughs with people, and I want to watch you struggle because you can't drive. I want to see all these things. I want to go out and have fun with everybody.
And you're
31, so you're on 44. That doesn't matter.
And you're absolutely right too, because the most limiting factor of so when I left when I got fired from my last job because of COVID, the reason I haven't been able to go wheeling much was because I've been nervous about that steering situation because now I have to drive it. So you're absolutely correct. If I just fucking nut it up and finalized my goddamn steering, I wouldn't have missed the last two events. Well, the last event.
Yeah, and it's just like you have the stuff. Like I understand money. I'm very far from rich. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have the $300 or $600 to buy the bumper winch combo setup, okay, I'm with you on that. But if you have the fucking parts, I mean, what's $60 in hydraulic lines or $50 in hydraulic lines? You know what I mean? On doing something like that, it's not. It'll make your life so you're gonna love being able to turn.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
You know what I mean?
I just gotta stop being a bitch. I've been trying to.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, the really cool part for me about doing all of that is my rig would not be drivable without hydro assist, just because of the amount of damage that continues to happen to the tie rod and everything else along those lines.
So like my Tacoma in a streetable rig, when I built the Taco, I needed the hydraulic assist just to make it drive good down the road. Like, because like Luke's saying, everything's fucking bent. You know what I mean? Like when you go wheeling, your tie rod's never straight. So you're always your wheels crooked. You know what I mean? Like your wheels crooked, you're towed in an inch instead of an eighth. Like you know what I mean? Like you're always got issues, or you're towed out, or depending on what happens, or you're always the hydraulic assist makes it drive nice.
It hides all of the bullshit. It's amazing.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to rely on it. Like your vehicle shouldn't be that much of a shit box. But like when I put it in my TJ, I loved it because it was just simple to drive down the road. Then you're going from I'm going to get death wobble to no. You're eliminating death wobble by having the Ram being able to fight your steering.
Yeah,
because you start wearing out tie rod.
There's no more second guessing after a wheeling ride. Like, am I going to have death wobble? You're not.
Yeah, like you got a bridge abutment or a bridge joint. You're like, oh,
yep.
And you go like, oh, that wasn't bad. You know what I mean? You're like waiting for and the thing just takes off the fucking road. But you're like, wow, it didn't death wobble.
Yep.
So
and it's like
stuff like that.
You know, if you have 1,000 psi continuously fighting each other, it's not going to move.
Correct.
Unless you input the steering wheel.
But like you guys, I mean, Ram has hydraulic assist, and Luke has hydraulic assist. I mean, now I'm full hydro, but it's a little different. But that makes it enjoyable. You're not fighting with it. You don't have arm pump. You don't have all this. Not trying to sound like a girl, but you don't have all this bullshit. You know what I mean? You could pick a line and go for it.
You can turn your wheels when you're not moving.
Yeah, you need as much help as you can get wheeling because you suck. But you need to be able to find your line and aim towards that line.
Yep.
So like you want to be able to turn a little bit. And you're on 35s. I'd love to give you shit about being on 35s and not tons, but I can't. Like a Cherokee on 35s fucking works.
See, the worst part is I have 05 pluses that I haven't even touched in 2 fucking years.
I'm just saying you can put the steering in there and continue to wheel the way you are. You don't need to put the 05s in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
and to be fair, I love the way that rig wheels as it sits. It's I still don't have enough seat time in general. Like I've only been doing this for 3 years on and off. So my rig is currently at where my skill level sits. And if I'm not exceeding my Jeep right now, then I don't need to be starting to throw that crazy money.
No. And Luke will tell you that Jeep and Graham as well. That Jeep will go a lot more places than you'll take it. You know what I mean?
But that roll cage, I've stretched my limits to a certain extent. But it's also like doing dumb line choices that like I really shouldn't even be doing in the first place, just because I want to see if it can. So
but I mean, like some sketchy stuff, but like you'd be amazed on how well you can go with 35s lock. Like you can do pretty much. You can hang out with some big boys. It hurts some feelings on 35s lock.
Especially because the wheelbase and your track width is just very different.
Yep.
So you can do things differently.
You can do some lines that I probably can't do. Like you can hurt some people's feelings in buggies on 35s and 2-lockers.
That continues also as the skill level continues to grow.
100%. Yep.
You know, like it's really fun now that I'm starting to get comfortable with my rig to push what I am comfortable with and then get the reactions from pushing the comfort level.
Correct.
You know, like
you are your limitation.
I am my limitation at this point. I'm putting in 35 spline outers and a set of drive flanges just to try and help shore that up because that's the mechanical weak link there. After that's taken care of, me and fucking Mouthwash have another, I'm gonna call it bad date, preferably around midnight.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, that'll be the 35 spine. My Tacoma ones, I broke 30 spines. Even Chromoly's, I broke 30 spine outriggers like they're going out of style. On 40s, I used to always break outriggers.
yeah, and you know, it's. I always go back to the point of that time that we were at Mabel when you were on your 36s and you were outwheeling my rig because your rig was just flat out working better. I had problems with tires just not wanting to connect. I changed the tires and that fixed that problem.
Yep.
But you were on the same lines that I was on and you were still outdoing it. So there is more that you can push. Especially because as much as I have to or hate to give and have to give credit, the general tires that you're running do work pretty well.
I'm not giving them credit. I'm not giving them credit for that, but you guys can have that credit. I'm not giving them.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen him. How long has it been, Cody? When was the last trip you actually
Oh
went
my
on?
god! So my last trip was Badlands last year.
Oh my god.
So
Has it really been a year?
I have never seen Cody in the woods other than his feet.
That's not true. I literally
But you know that counts for something. At least he shows up. Some
Yeah.
people don't
I'm
have a
not
rig
saying
and they
that-
don't show
yeah.
up. It's
some
like,
people
my
have 2 rigs and they don't show
my
up.
Craig.
Colin.
Yeah, my Craig 2 rigs, both of them fucking broke. He's in his Nikes. So the whole fucking time he's running around the fucking on the snoots. Craven
Yep.
calls him the snoots. He's running around the snoots all the fucking day. No, I just want to get you guys out and have fun.
Yeah.
And bust balls and all that stuff. That's why I was like, me and Mikey said we are making Badlands. I don't give a fuck if I have to cancel another trip. I'm like, we'll make Badlands this year. I was like, I'm like, I even have a weekend now in between if I break something. I'm like, oh shit, I'm definitely going.
yep.
I was like, I'll definitely. There's not much I can't do in a weekend on getting my rig back together. So I was like, we will be there. And if we got to throw Cody's shitbox in the mix to make that happen, then we'll make that fucking happen as well. So we can get up and get that done.
We will talk about that some more and see what we can come up with that'll work for both of us, and we'll see the availability.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Well, alrighty. I think we've talked enough about you and talked enough about me. Anybody else got anything to throw into the mix?
Chris, just keep me in the loop about AOP and Windrock. I would be happy to make a trip up there. I just need a shit ton of time in advance to put in for vacation.
Yeah, we're gonna I'd say by mid-July we will have exact dates.
Okay, sounds good, man.
So, and it should be the second to third week in October.
Perfect.
That's the goal.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. We appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to go check us out on Instagram. Make sure to go follow Chris wherever the fuck you want to.
Facebook,
And on that note, go fuck yourself.